The granddaddy of them all is tomorrow. We anticipate a tremendous Rose Bowl between those underdog Wolverines and Southern Cal. Will Lloyd Carr's team stun Pete Carroll's, or will USC show the world they deserve to be #1? Our Trevor Thompson's back with more from LA. And Trevor, I understand you aren't the only Michigander in SoCal.
Hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail, hail. Sorry guys, I guess I'm still caught up in that Michigan Love Fest I attended this afternoon. It was a pep rally to end all pep rallies, and I'm here to tell you, these guys got a boost from that, and I'm not the only one who got caught up in that wave of emotion.
It's incredible. You know, you're here in California, you got 8,000 people that are hanging out the rafters at the Century Plaza just to get a glimpse of this football team and be a part of the Rose Bowl. It's just great. I don't know any other university in America that put this kind of program together.
Well, this is my first Rose Bowl, and I don't know what I'd do after this. I'm spoiled. I got to come back here.
So you're feeling the excitement?
I really am now.
From your own personal experience, being here, being in this position, what's it feel like inside? What's it like, just like I say, 24 hours before the big day?
I mean, it's butterflies. You're just anxious. You're waiting to go at it. It was a big deal when I played here. It's a far bigger deal as a parent to come out here to support your child.
Come on up, Chris Terry. It was a big shock for me to roll up here and see all these people. You know, I wasn't expecting this many Michigan fans. But it's a great privilege to play in front of y'all and for y'all to support us. And we're going to go out there on the first and do our best and try to come out victorious on January 1st. So go Blue.
It's a tremendous opportunity for parents, too, because we're here to watch our sons play. It's a tremendous adrenaline rush. I'm just really excited, and I can't wait to see the game tomorrow because we're going to win.
I do know it's exciting to see so many people and to know that we do have tremendous support here. People came from all over this country to be here to cheer for Michigan, and I think there's no question that motivates your football team. But tomorrow we're going to be out there. There are going to be 11 guys on that field, and they got to do it themselves.
Now, folks, this is Lloyd Carr's 9th Rose Bowl. He's 4-4 in his previous 8 meetings, so a win tomorrow pushes him over 500, and it would be a great way to ring in the new year. Mick, Ron, back to you guys in the studio.
Trevor, thanks for all your hard work. Happy New Year to you. However, no partying yet. We're not done with you yet, okay? You got to stick around more.
Happy New Year to everybody.
All right. And that's right. The Wolverines have obviously been impressive in the regular season to even be in the Rose Bowl, but our Wolverine insider Doug Karsh tells us whether they're impressive enough to get past the best team of the land coming up.
Michigan, she says the Wolverines will win the Rose Bowl by a touchdown because they are the best team in the country. Nobody can stop Chris Perry.
And if they win that Rose Bowl, it will be a happy new year.
Sure it will. Yeah, we hope you have a happy new year. For Ron, I'm Mick. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you.
Good night.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Iowa's already won today. Could be a huge day for the Big Ten because Michigan here in just about a half an hour is going to try and play spoiler against USC.
And the atmosphere is incredible. It's electric. This is not just another BCS game. We've been to all the championship games. This has the feel of a championship game.
Hold on,
about fell off.
Almost went off the back end of this thing. Hey, a decided advantage fan-wise to USC. Out west, obvious. But I tell you what, watching Michigan's offensive line right behind us here, this is a big, talented group. I think that's the key to the game.
All right, we'll get to the overtime after this message and a word from our ABC station.
From the Rose Bowl, the combined bands of the University of Michigan and the University of Southern California, our national anthem conducted by Mr. John Williams. conducting the combined bands of the Universities of Michigan and Southern California. The flyover by an F-117 Stealth fighter, a B-2 Stealth bomber, and an F-22 Raptor out of Langley, Virginia Air Force Base. The big shoulders of the San Gabriel Mountains framing our picture as Southern California and Michigan meet in the Big Ten Pac-10 matchup, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. And for those out in this part of the country to have that matchup means all is right with the world, because they missed that a couple of times and it was a big thing. Hello everybody, Happy New Year to you. Keith Jackson along with Dan Fouts and Todd Harris. This matchup today will perhaps produce one of the most volatile, dramatic football games of the season. There's enough talent there. It may even fly in the face of that old Wallace Wade dogma that nobody ever wins a football game, somebody loses it. Well, this game could be decided by not the last mistake, but rather the last great play. And discuss it now with our Hall of Fame analyst, Dan Fouts.
Happy New Year, Keith.
Happy New Year.
You know, there is such great talent on both sides of the ball here. Individual athletes that can make your head turn with disbelief, and two of the best will be on display today. Chris Perry, the Doak Walker winner, as the best running back in the nation. Great eye tailback, a every down player, and SC with Mike Williams, the most intimidating wide receiver in all of college football. He can beat you in many ways.
USC is a considered favorite by most of the pundits. How do you see it? Does not Michigan come in here with some pretty good tools of their own?
Michigan has all the tools offensively to give SC everything they can handle today. It's on defense that will be the key for Michigan. SC is the fastest team in the nation. Can Michigan match up in the right places with their defense?
All right, the teams are now coming onto the field. Behind us, you hear the Roar building, the Michigan Wolverines with 833 victors, the most in the NCAA. The Southern California Trojans, of course, will have more partisans in the stands probably, since they live out here. But Michigan has brought a lot of folks with them as well, and they know the territory because they've been here a few times themselves. And now here come the famous helmets emerging from the tunnel, and here are the Michigan Wolverines, Big Ten champions of 2003. Lloyd Carr, 8 years as the head coach of this football team, and he's been to a bowl game every single season. These two teams have a considerable history in this game, perhaps the most notorious in 1979. Here is the City Rose Bowl flashback. John Robinson was the head coach of the Trojans, Boschembeckler, Michigan, 25 years ago. Charles White flying toward the Michigan goal line. Michigan's Ron Simpkins knocks the ball loose short of the goal line, 2 yards short. Called a touchdown, however, by 2 of the 3 officials involved. Southern California 14-3 lead, won the game 17-10, and that phantom touchdown haunts the Wolverines to this very day. And here are the Trojans. Southern California Trojans, the Pac-10 champions. They have won 8 in a row after losing in triple overtime to California. And so we're ready for this ball game, and we'll be back with some football for you from the Rose Bowl right after this timeout.
Now, here are the FedEx Air stats for today's matchup. And here are the FedEx Ground stats.
Very comfortable day here in Pasadena, California. The rain has been forecast all week long, and so far we have missed it, and we're going to miss it through this afternoon and have another day in the Tournament of Roses without rain. Now let's join Todd Harris on the field, Coach Pete Carroll of USC.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Pete, you've only been here for 3 years, and here you are in contention for the national title. I think a lot of coaches around the country want to know, how'd you do it?
Well, I don't know if I could even begin to tell you at a time like this. But we are excited to be where we are. We're thrilled about this opportunity. What a great event here at the Rose Bowl. We're just so pumped up and proud to be representing today. I hope we can do a great job for it.
I know how much the Rose Bowl game means to you personally. Where are the kids both physically and mentally right now as we get ready to start?
Well, I think they're just sky high. If anything, I'm worried about that, you know, and we're ready. We've tapered real well. We're physically about as good as we could be at this time of year. We have nothing to back off on now. We're ready to play football.
All right, good luck, Coach. Keith, back up to you.
All right, Todd, thanks very much. Southern California will kick off to the University of Michigan Wolverines. They won the toss, deferred to take the second half kickoff, and so Michigan will have the ball first. Lloyd Carr building quite a remarkable record in Ann Arbor. It'll be Ryan Killeen, a junior out of Norco, California, to kick it off for USC. And the receiving people for Michigan will be Jeremy LeSueur and Steve Breaston. Breaston, the swifter of the two. As a matter of fact, he strikes fear into your soul when he gets a little room in the ball in his hand. And they kick it, and they kick it right at him, and they drive him all the way back into the end zone, 4 yards, and Jeremy LeSueur comes out and says, "Don't do it, stay there." So the ball comes out to the 20-yard line where it'll be first down. Michigan quarterback is John Navarre. Got rid of a lot of demons this season after being picked on and at for 4 years. He beat Ohio State, won an outright Big Ten title, has learned to ignore aggravating people and things, reads only the funny papers, and has become quite a fellow, I think. And his coach praises him to the highest. So here we are. The big man, 6'6", brings his team in. He'll go under center, and the center is big old Dave Pearson. So the first snap of the Rose Bowl game for 2004. They'll run it with All-American Chris Perry going to the outside and finding some daylight. He picks up the better part of 11 yards before Darnell Bing can bring him down. The starting lineup for the Michigan Wolverines backs and receivers. Chris Perry, who just carried the ball, worth the price of the ticket. A lightning fast core of receivers. Edwards is your leaper. He's the go-to guy. The offensive front. To me, this is the key group for the Wolverines. If they get a draw against the SC defensive front, look out. A first down at the 31-yard line for the Wolverines. They've got 4 wide receivers. And they send Braylon Edwards in motion and tighten up the formation, go the other way with it and throw it to Steve Breaston. He is quick. And he's brought down at near the 40-yard line for a pickup of about 9 yards. Southern California's defensive front, very athletic, strong and fast. Former starter at defensive end, Omar Nazel, will play today. Linebacker Sergeant Tatupu, sophomore. Simmons, a senior, very good. Grudegood will play. And the secondary, if you're daring enough, you can do some business here. There is depth and wisdom. Will Poole figures to get to know Braylon Edwards quite well before this day is done.
Trojan secondary has given up over 276 yards a game to the opposing offense.
Double wide at the top of the picture, and Navarre looks that way and goes that way, and it is dropped by Braylon Edwards. You can't throw it any better. Navarre put it right on his hands, and he dropped it. He had a step on Will Poole.
Yeah, that ball was perfectly thrown by John Navarre to Braylon Edwards. This is a matchup we'll see most of the afternoon. 28 is Will Poole, and he can't handle the speed off the line of scrimmage of Edwards. That ball is a flat drop, a touchdown for sure for Michigan, one to be remembered.
Third down and 1. They went for the bundle because they had a short circumstance for third down. They go to Perry, and Chris Perry knifes over the right side, gets in between big old Dave Pearson and Matt Lentz, and he's got a first down.
We've already seen the strength of Chris Perry on the first play. He's got a real knack for making the right cut at the right time, got good speed to the outside, and because he's a classic I formation tailback, he's got the patience and confidence in his own abilities to wait for the crack to open, as he did on that play to pick up the first down.
Ball is just short of the 45-yard line. First down for the Wolverines. Jason Avant is the man way down at the bottom, along with Calvin Bell. Calvin Bell moving around now, number 27. He's from Simi Valley, California. And for a loss at the 41-yard line, Jason Leach finds a crack and comes through to deck Chris Perry.
That's a big part of Pete Carroll's defense for SC, is the athlete, the speed that they have, and with Jason Leach as the safety here. Watch him sneaking up from the side here, totally unblocked to get in on Perry. It's a delay running play, almost a lead draw, and there was nobody to take number 27 of SC.
So it is 2nd down and 14 as the ball comes back inside the 41-yard line on the Michigan side of the field. First possession of the ball game. And Navarre goes to the sidelines, caught by Braylon Edwards, and Braylon is short of the midfield stripe by a yard or so, make it 2 yards, brought down by Will Poole.
And again, we will see this matchup 90% of the time today. Will Poole is the shutdown corner for the Trojans. And Braylon Edwards is obviously the leading receiver for Michigan. Edwards still has got to be thinking and kicking himself for dropping that beautiful long bomb from John Navarre.
Carl Tabb has gone to the top of the picture up there. He's from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Got great speed, so he's a wide out with Preston going that direction to join him. Now you've got double trouble. Navarre looks at him. Now he throws, and he goes to Preston. Preston's got a first down as he goes to the Southern California 40-yard line. Jason Leach the tackle.
Preston will come in motion and fake coming across on a shallow cross, and then the quickness to pivot out of his break. Navarre is on the money so far today. That was a great pass because Preston did not have to slow down, did not have to lose any momentum, and they pick up the first down.
You've got Edwards and Devant down at the bottom. Again, that's a double trouble. They're both very fast and very good. And Navarre looks left, drops the ball, covers it back at the 49-yard line. Marcel Almond came in, got just a little touch on it, just enough, as he was starting to cock it, and he dropped it.
Yeah, we've seen so far, SC's 2 best plays on defense have come from the defensive backfield. Here is Marcel Almond on the corner blitz, as he gets by and just kicked the ball out of John Navarre's hands, heads up by Navarre to fall on that ball. But so far, SC has not been able to handle the Michigan offense with their standard defense, so they've had to use pressure from a corner and a safety.
It is 2nd down and 19 now after a loss of 9 yards on that kick out by Almond. Little dump off. Almost intercepted by Dallas Sartz. And I mean, if Dallas gets it, he's gone.
And John Navarre knows it. That was a screen pass that was read by Dallas Sartz. The only thing Sartz didn't do is catch this ball. Number 42, right at the line of scrimmage. He's got Perry in man-to-man coverage. He steps up, and at the very last instant, David Boss pushes Dallas Sartz, and that causes Sartz to drop that interception.
Trojans have done very well in the turnover department this season. They're looking now at 3rd down and 19, Michigan is, at the 49-yard line. That's Edwards moving. And Navarre drops. No heat. Passes away to the sidelines for Preston, and he got it. But he's short of a first down. Ball is out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Had to go to the 30 to get it. It was Ronald Nunn on the tackle for USC.
Again, John Navarre is just hot as you could possibly be, except for having that ball kicked out of his hands and almost throwing an interception to Dallas Sartz. He's putting the ball where his receivers can catch that ball and bringing up a 4th down here. And it looks like Michigan's going to go for it. Lloyd Carr likes this field position. Too far for a field goal try for Garrett Rivas.
Ball is on the 34, exactly. And it's 4th down and 4. Weston and Devant, the pair. Edwards coming back toward the ball. Navarre looks at Edwards, throws to the sideline. Ball caught by Tyler Eckert for a first down. It was Tyler Eckert, the tight end, that made the big play in the Ohio State game for Michigan that got the Wolverines home easy.
And that was a 30-yarder, only his 4th catch of the year against Ohio State. But Navarre reading the coverage here. Look at Will Poole is short on Braylon Edwards right there. But the big tight end, Tyler Eckert, 6'6", 250, with an easy reception.
And it's a first down just inside the 24-yard line on the U.S. side of the field. Wolverines are moving the ball. Going to run it with Perry. And Chris will get down close to the 20, call it the 21.
You talk about confidence. Lloyd Carr and Terry Malone, offensive coordinator for Michigan, on that 4th and 4 to go for it, realizing that a punt probably would have gone down into the end zone, brought out to the 20, so you only would have netted 14 yards. too far for a field goal for Rivas, who has a long of only 47. So confidence in his offense to execute for Carr.
It'll be 2nd down and 7. Backfield is empty. Navarre back pressure coming. It got in. It was Will Poole on a corner blitz. They moved the wide out to the other side of the field to give him trips, and that left the door wide open for Will Poole.
Michigan had 2 tight ends lined up to this side of the field too. Here's Minery, here's Massaquoi, and here is Will Poole. And Will Poole with a real burst here, as there's a bust in the blocking assignment. Sarge came on the blitz as well. Michigan has only allowed 15 sacks coming into today, 2 already on this first drive.
It was Minery who covered the ball, and in the judgment apparently of the Big 12 officials, that ball was loose, and Minery covered it and saved it, and it's 3rd down and 17. Deep in the corner, incomplete, intended for Braylon Edwards and covered by Poole.
Boy, and that's what pressure will do to a quarterback. John Navarre threw that ball so soon that Braylon Edwards had no chance at all to adjust to it and try to make a catch.
Our referee is Steve Juszczyk. Richard Brown, the umpire. Fred Hutchinson, head linesman. David Oliver, line judge. Jim Hatfield, side judge. Phil Laurie, brother of John, the field judge. And John Robinson, back judge with Hal Dowden. Here we're going to get a field goal try. Big time. Garrett Rivas. This one is 47 yards. That's his career long. He had one of those at Iowa. And it's blocked. And Michigan downs it. Sean Cody, number 84, blocked it.
SC has blocked 6 kicks so far this season. Here is number 7, Sean Cody, number 84, with the big right hand, stuffs the Michigan scoring threat.
So the Michigan Wolverines are turned away, and Southern California will get its first possession starting at their own 46-yard line. That ain't a bad place to start from. No score in the ball game. First possession for the Trojans coming up here. Single back. Leinert's pass outside. Ball completed to Brendan Hancock out of the backfield, the fullback for a first down. The quarterback, Matt Leinart, left-hander, named Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year. Only the 2nd sophomore ever to be accorded that honor. The other one was John Elway. Enough said. Ball is on the Michigan 40-yard line.
Good start for Leinart to complete his first pass, but that's nothing new for him. His first pass this year of his college career went for a touchdown against Auburn.
Got 4 wideouts in the ball game for the Trojans here. There comes Big Mike Williams across the snap of the ball. He goes the other way with it. Very quick pop to Kerry Colbert. And Colbert, the senior, canters past the marker for a first down on the 30. The starting lineup for the Trojans, back and receivers. The world knows about Mike Williams, but never look past the man you just saw there, Kerry Colbert, and they are 3 deep at tailback. The offensive front, steady, dependable group, protect the quarterback very well. Nobody does the student body right these days, but they probably could with a week's work at it. Reggie Bush is in the lineup now, and he is outside as a wideout. He is a tailback or a wideout. He can do a lot of things, but most importantly, if you give him a little daylight, you look at his hip pocket for a while because he has blazing speed. That's a short game. The Michigan defense front. This is an attacking defensive group. Not so big. They play hard. They make you earn your real estate. The linebackers, again, not so explosive, but steady. Reed, Wood, Diggs, 1, 2, 3 in team tackles. The secondary, the next 4 in team tackles. The starting defensive backs all have more than 30 tackles on the season. Lindale White had come into the ball game, but now they've emptied the backfield, and that gives them 4 wideouts with White coming to the bottom of the picture. Leinart gets some heat, goes down into the corner, and it's touchdown. Kerry Colbert. He beat Marcus Curry.
Perfect start for Matt Leinart, and what he saw, he liked. Marcus Curry, number 30, in bump and run press coverage, getting the ball off before Marlon Jackson can get to him, and look at this throw. Not much room for error, perfectly in the hands of Kerry Colbert.
And the kick by Colleen is good. At 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter at the Rose Bowl, Southern California 7, Michigan nothing.
The Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Citi Identity Theft Solutions. Free help getting your life back. That's using your card wisely. The next Ford F-150. Built Ford Tough. And FedEx. Proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series.
A 25-yard pass to Kerry Colbert puts USC on the scoreboard 7-0. 8:08 to go in the first quarter at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. You just joined us. Been pretty exciting, even though we only have 7 points. The Wolverines moved the ball around too. That was Matt Leinart's 36th touchdown pass of this season. And Colleen's kick carries way to the back of the end zone. There will be no return by Steve Breston out at the 21st down.
Let's go back to the very first drive of the game. A couple of missed opportunities. Braylon Edwards dropped this potential 59-yard touchdown pass, and then Dallas Sarch would have gone in from about 60 yards away. Good penetration by Sean Cody to block that Garrett Rivas 47-yard field goal. But SC certainly didn't lose or miss any opportunities on their first offensive possession. Perfect start for Matt Leinart, as Michigan just allowed their 6th touchdown pass of the season on that Kerry Colbert score.
John Navarre brings him up at the 21st down. Chris Perry's the deep back. He's got the ball, and he's trying to get around the corner. Does. And comes across the 30 out to the 32. He's a tough guy, boy. He can really pound on you. He broke the tackle of Blofa Tutupu.
Yeah, he really has the entire package. Didn't look like he had the speed to get to the corner, but watch the stiff arm right there on Tutupu. That gave him the momentum and with the speed to get down the sidelines and pick up a very important first down on first down.
Very few running backs come off a plant stronger than he does.
Especially that right leg.
Yeah. They got Dudley in there at fullback for blocking on this particular series as well. Perry gets the ball again. Not a whole lot there. Just about the line of scrimmage before he's brought down by Marcel Alman. After the game, we invited to join us for the Built Ford Tough postgame report, and then the ACC champion Florida State Seminoles will meet the Miami Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl as the BCS or the Bowl Championship Series continues next here on ABC Sports. It'll be second down, say 9. The ball is up around the 33-yard line, playing on real grass here at the Rose Bowl. Ryan Thompson checks into the lineup now for Michigan. Perry remains deep, and Braylon Edwards is the wideout in motion. And they're looking for him. Instead, go to 35. That's Brian Thompson out of the backfield. The fullback makes the catch all right, but he's still 3 yards or maybe 4 short of the first down.
John Navarre, that's 6 out of 9 passing so far. Why? Well, because SC is so good on defense at stuffing the rushing attack. Only one 100-yard rusher this year, and that was Adam Chinobi Echimandu of Cal. Of course, that was the 34-31 triple overtime win for Jeff Tedford's team in Berkeley.
Well done. Echimandu.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Been practicing.
Yeah, but don't ask me to say it again. You get one shot.
Third down and 4. Perry, a little bit of a stumble as he's kind of juked and wanted to move right, came back left and stumbled a bit. And Omar Nazel was there for the tackle. Omar had a thumb injury, had surgery. He's out there playing with a soft cast today, and the Wolverines now on 4th and 2 will punt it away.
And SC will keep their defense on the field in this instance and bring Greg Carlson back, the sure-handed punt returner, inside the 20.
Adam Finley out of Greenwood, Indiana, the punter for the Wolverines, averaging just under 40 yards per punt. Snap is good. The kick's away, and there's some air under it. And Carlson waited a long time to call the fair catch, but he went ahead and did it at the 16, and that's where the Trojans will have it, leading 7-0, 5:37 to go in the first quarter.
This is the Rose Bowl game presented by City.
Having a nap. We go now to this possession, the second possession for Southern California. They scored off their first one, and we're now in the bottom third of the first quarter of play. Temperature in the low 60s today, and it's dry.
Trojans took great advantage of great field position. This time they're backed up all the way to the 16.
Reggie Bush is the tailback, or the single back if you wish. And Leinert gives it to him. Watch him go outside. Oh, that good tackle. That is a good tackle by Jeremy LeSueur. Because if he gets a half a step past LeSueur and turns that corner, he might have burned some grass.
Mike Williams wasn't even in on that last play, and he's the most intimidating receiver in college football. If you try to press him, he'll embarrass you with his size and power. Against the zone coverage, he can literally run through an entire defensive secondary on his way to the end zone. But what makes this man so special is he can make that impossible catch look incredibly easy.
Well, he's on this side of the field now, standing back at the 10-yard line. So you can see what happens as Leinert rolls and looks for somebody on this side. Williams the block, Carey the catch. Now fumbled the ball as he goes down on the 20, and the line judge says he's down.
They're going to get SC, though, for an illegal pick on this play, Keith. So Michigan, thinking they had the fumble recovery, will have SC backing up.
But you saw one side of Williams there as he came over and pretty crunching block. But it's offside called against Michigan. They missed the pick.
Yeah, they certainly did. Jason Mitchell with an illegal block, but obviously Michigan lining up in the neutral zone.
Offside on a defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So that helps the Trojans a bit.
Yeah, after the play fake, there you can see the block as the ball is in the air. And is that a fumble? Apparently not. The ground cannot cause the fumble. Great hit, though, here to send Colbert on a somersault.
Marcus Curry turned him upside down. Put the ball at the 18-yard line, where it is now second down and 8 for USC. Leinert gives the ball away to the tailback, Lindale White. White is the bigger of the tailbacks. You've got White at 225, Bush 190, and Herschel Dennis, the sophomore, at 190. Bush and White are both true freshmen.
And that's a rare carry for SC between the tackles. Lately, they've been able to just use the speed of Bush and Dennis in their running attack to get to the edge. But with the power of White, Michigan's got to look out for that.
Hancock, the fullback, comes way wide now as one of the wideouts, and Colbert is back there in the backfield. And it is third down and 3. Leinert looking for Bush. Throws, got him. He's open. He loses the football. It's wandering around, and then he gets it back, and he's finally wrestled down. And I thought for a minute that ball was going to come out as they spun him around. But he is hard to handle. 41-yard line, first down, Southern California.
And he comes out of the backfield where he's isolated on a safety, and in fact nobody really took him as he split the seam. And when he gets his hands on that football, that's that lightning in a bottle you're talking about. Here he is, number 5 on a wheel route. Gets away from Marlon Jackson, who's going to be assigned to him for the better part of the day.
That's good for 36 yards and first down from the 41. Leinert is sacked. Sacked back at the 47-yard line by Pierre Woods, a junior out of Cleveland, Ohio.
That doesn't happen to Matt Leinert very often, only 15 times now this season. But Pierre Woods with a big play for Michigan's defense.
They'll put it down finally on the 48-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 19.
But Pierre Woods will come from a linebacker spot. He will also drop down as a defensive end to get his speed on the field that he showed right there.
Well, 21, 2nd down and 21. Marcamento tells me. Larry Stevens coming into the ball game, and a defensive change for Michigan with Lamar Woodley coming out. Larry Stevens, a senior, plays at that outside defensive end position out of Tacoma, Washington. Area. Lloyd Carr finds his way to the West Coast quite often. We'll have a look at next year's quarterback at Michigan, Matt Gutierrez. And Leinart stands, throws. William bobbles, holds, and makes the catch. And he moves the ball down inside the 43-yard line.
Such a physically imposing wide receiver, 6'5", 230 pounds, and on the slant route, even with inside coverage by Marcus Curry, Williams gets in easily and then plays catch with himself.
Here now. Leinart, 6 out of 6, 99 yards and a touchdown. Not a bad beginning. 1:50 to go in the first quarter. Matt rolling right, left-hander getting a little heat, steps away from it, throws in the middle, pass good to Williams, penalty flag down. Play goes down to about the 30-yard line, which would be good for a first down, but the flag was thrown on the far side of the field.
Trying to break some tendencies. SC rolling Matt Leinart, a left-hander, out to the right side, something that he does not do very often.
Well, illegal procedure by the Trojans. Somebody moving.
Matt Leinart saying
illegal
it's all right.
Formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty from previous spot. Still 3rd down.
And when you're a hot quarterback, 6 out of 6, like Matt Leinart is, a lot of things are all right. He's feeling good about his game right now.
The ball comes well back from the 30-yard line where it was had there been no penalty to the Michigan 47. There SC possesses it with Steve Smith into the ball game now at a wideout position. He's number 2. Herschel Dennis is the tailback. Shazer drops in the middle of the field for Michigan's secondary. Leinart looking around, pumps, throws, ball is dropped. Thrown low to Herschel Dennis, the tailback, and that's Leinart's first miss of the day.
Yeah, 2 big plays on that series for each team. The pass play to Reggie Bush and then the sack by Pierre Woods.
Tom Malone comes in now on 4th down, and he averaged better than 49 yards punting. And he's going to be kicking it in the direction of Steve Preston, who's one of the best in the country at returning punts. The key against Preston, of course, put some air under the ball. Kick it as high as you can.
And he's standing at the 10. Anything over his head, he will let go into the end zone.
Malone would lead the nation, but he didn't have enough punts to qualify. Boy, he got some air under that one, and he kicks it all the way into the end zone, and there'll be no return. So it'll be Michigan getting the ball back at the 20-yard line, first down. 1:06 to go in the first quarter.
24-hour News 8 is on WOTV 41.
This is the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
The Rose Bowl. No place like it. Go to the second quarter with Southern California leading Michigan by a score of 7-0. And the ball rests on the 27-yard line where it's owned by the Wolverines. Tom Brady, who came out of Sierra High School up in San Mateo, went to Michigan to play his football, and now quarterbacks the New England Patriots. And there he is. They finally let him in. They weren't going to let him in for a while today. And he'd been kind of puny.
He doesn't need no stinking badge.
He had a hell of a time getting in, I know that.
He didn't get to do the 1.5-mile walk like we did, though. Navarre's pass is batted down.
That's another defensive back putting pressure on John Navarre. Will Poole coming from way outside. Navarre holding the ball too long on that 3rd and short. And watch number 28. Look at this. This is a 40-yard dash for Poole. But Navarre does not make the mistake of throwing the ball into coverage. Big play again for a defensive back for SC.
And Adam Finley is in, standing at his 5-yard line. Will hit it somewhere around the 10. And it's Reggie Bush waiting for it. Little heat on him, but he got it out. It's a good kick. Turns over for him. Bush at the 35. One man misses him. And the trailer gets him. Just about the 40-yard line. Carl Tabb making the tackle. Now Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Keith. Tom Brady living a conundrum from Southern California, went to Michigan. First of all, assess the 2 quarterbacks so far. What do you see?
Well, the USC kid, he's getting the ball to the open guy. I think we got to make him earn some of those. I hate watching those guys throw easy completions, but John's doing a good job. We just got to use that aggressiveness, that toughness we have to try to get some points on the board.
What do you think about the speed of USC? I know that was one of the concerns of Michigan coaches.
Yeah, they got some big guys, man. That number 1, I mean, he looks like he's about 25 years old, but they look good. They look good. It's going to be a battle. It's going to go down to the 4th quarter.
Thanks. You wouldn't mind throwing to him, would you, in a couple years?
No, he looks pretty good to me.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thanks a lot.
All on the carry by Herschel Dennis. Will be worth a couple of yards up to about the 43. I make it to 42.
Tom Brady getting the weekend off with a bye for New England. Boy, don't they look good going into the NFL playoffs. And we've got all these bowl games on ABC, plus the wild card game this weekend and NBA basketball. My goodness, Keith. ABC, huh?
I'm going to bed. Turn on the set and turn it up.
There you go.
Leinert pumps it, going deep. Kerry Colbert got it. Marcus Curry couldn't keep pace with him.
Matt Leinert continues with the hot hand. He gets good pass protection here. Watch the pump fake there to make sure there's no safety in the middle of the field. But Marcus Curry never looks back for where this ball is. There's nobody in the middle of the field, so Leinert can just air it out. And Curry desperately diving at the feet of Colbert. What a catch with a guy hanging all over your feet.
37 yards. Colbert now 3 catches, 71 yards, and he caught the touchdown pass for the Trojans. Down the middle, Colbert, touchdown. No, it comes out, does it?
What a big hit there to knock it out.
I thought he'd hit the ground before the ball came out, but he did get a lick.
Oh, yeah, I thought the ball might have crossed the plane into his possession, but when he hit the ground, he did not have possession of the ball.
He got it there.
Marlon Jackson and Ernest Shazer, the big hitting safeties for Michigan, forced this ball to come out.
That was close.
Yeah, it was real close.
Ball is at the 21, 2nd down and 10.
Yes, he's already had their phantom touchdown, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they burned that in 79. Rick Leach has still got that poster. Ball's inside, down to about the 20-yard line.
Marlon Jackson, a former cornerback who really would like to play corner, but is playing safety for Michigan because that gives Marcus Curry a chance to get on the field along with Jeremy LeSueur. But when LeSueur leaves and graduates this year, Jackson will move back to corner. But he specializes in the big hit, as we just saw.
Third down, short 9. Leinert, pressure from the backside. Now he turns away from it, throws the ball low, too low, and it's incomplete. Lindale White, the tailback, was over there and had some room. If he could get the ball to White, he might have made something out of it. But Pierre Woods wasn't buying it. Boy, he ate him up.
Yeah, Pierre Woods probably said, here I come from the blind side. Remember, Pierre got the sack on the last possession for SC. That pressure that time will bring out this field goal try for the Trojans.
Ryan Killeen now is 19 of 23 this season. His long was 45, and this one is going to be around 40. Maybe 39, probably 39. It's just inside the 40. And he hooked it. No good. It looked to me like he hit the ground with that. I saw the dust kick up when just before the foot hit the ball. He might have been a little fat on that one, and he doesn't get it. So it remains 7-0 Southern California. Aerial coverage of game this afternoon being provided by Tostitos. You can see to the left there the famous facade of the Rose Bowl where the Hall of Fame plaques are all located. John Robinson among those entering the Hall of Fame yesterday. Danny O'Neill from Oregon, and Harriman Cronk, who has been a stalwart citizen of the committee here for so many years. That little swing pass play comes out to about the 25-yard line.
Time for our Dodge defensive playbook. Michigan quarterback John Navarre has been sacked 3 times today. Here is Will Poole coming off the corner. In fact, all 3 sacks of Navarre have come from defensive backs. Poole has 2.
Second down and 8 for Michigan. John throws a bullet to Braylon Edwards and gets the completion at the 29-yard line, but they need 3 more for the first down. He had to get rid of it because Dallas Sartz was tracking him down and laid a lick on him after he let the ball go.
Neither team has been able to run the ball very well at all. Here's that shot by Dallas Sartz, who Pete Carroll calls the most versatile player on his team. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. He plays linebacker, but he also can line up as a safety, and he runs a 40 in about 4.6, so his future very bright here in SC.
We got Edwards and Breskin switching sides here. Navarre comes down into the middle area where he finds Jason Avant, and they're going to say Avant didn't have it when he came down, and the pass is incomplete. Jason Avant, who made that spectacular one-handed catch in the Ohio State game.
Well, let's see if this is a two-handed catch.
Belly button.
That's oh boy, that's close. That's a catch because his knee was down when that ball came out.
Looked like it.
Trying to convince Lloyd Carr of that.
And it is 4th down. Adam Findlay is in now for his 3rd punt of the day. He's had 2 good ones, 43 and 46. And it's Reggie Bush waiting. There's some heat on him, but again, he clears it, and that's the best one of the bunch. Oh, bingo. Coming down like a running downhill was Carl Tabb, and he just nailed Reggie Bush. So we've got 10:31 to go in the first half of play, with Southern California leading Michigan 7-0, and they're playing some tough defense now.
The Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Miller Lite. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. Dodge, you can take life as it comes or you can grab life by the horns. Citi, credit card and financial tools to help you live richly. And Tostitos, nothing brings friends together like Tostitos chips and salsa. Meet you at the Tostitos.
There's a couple of noble Trojans. Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott. There's a lot of folks here. We just saw Desmond Howard. Justin Fargas is here. Justin's coming home. He played over here at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Herschel Dennis is the tailback now for Southern California from the 23-yard line. Here they come. Leinart still got it, lets it go, and he's got his man. Guess who? Mike Williams. First down, USC.
Big difference for Matt Leinart when he can roll out to his left. He feels so comfortable doing so. After the fake here, he's going to come out. And you can find where Mike Williams coming from this side of the field. Look at all the Trojans running free in that secondary. But Williams is such a great target for the quarterback against a zone. How do you miss big number 1? And he doesn't miss the ball.
You move the chains.
Absolutely.
Leinart again. Williams again. Tries to shake the first one and can't do it. And Jeremy LeSueur. Young man from Holly Springs, Mississippi, made the tackle on him.
And LeSueur was complaining that Williams pushed off. LeSueur up in tight bump and run coverage that time. Williams may have gotten away with one.
Steve Smith replaces Williams in the lineup for the moment. Lindale White is your running back, and he's got it. He doesn't get much. He gets a couple of yards as he tries to root over the left side with the offensive line surge. They're not the biggest offensive line in town, but they're big enough. Jacob Rogers and Winston Justice, the two tackles, are both over 300 pounds, and Justice is only a sophomore, so I imagine Winston's going to creep up a tad on the scale.
There's Jim Herman, defensive coordinator, checking out what SC brings out offensively before he substitutes on defense.
And you're looking at third down and a long three. Shazor comes up, high ball in the quarterback, ball's away, and it's incomplete, and he threw that one into a crowd, and he's lucky to get it back. He tried to force one to Mike Williams, and he threw it into double coverage.
Yeah, Mike Williams on the outside working the slant route against Marcus Curry. That's a beautiful job by Curry, shielding Williams away from the ball, and Leinart is real lucky this one isn't picked off.
And here's Tom Malone for his second punt. His first one was 48 yards into the end zone. Steve Preston is hoping to have a chance to see what he can do with one of these, but Tom's got to kick it low, and so far he's put a lot of air under it, and that's a beauty. Back to the 5-yard line, and the gunner got him. Justin Wyatt flying downfield with sprinter speed, and he took him down on the 5.
And a big mistake for Steve Preston as he backs up from the 10-yard line. Watch the speed of Justin Wyatt, gets away from Marcus Curry, and is going to drop Preston deep in Michigan territory.
You're watching the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
Now time for the Aflac trivia question. Which was the last AP #1 ranked team to lose in the Rose Bowl game?
Aflac!
I want to see that duck.
You're looking at him.
Nothing there. Maybe a yard.
Boy, neither team can run the ball at all. SC has -2 yards on the ground running. Michigan now with just 3 yards rushing. And both these offenses, very high octane. SC averaging over 42 points a game. Michigan over 37.
I'm kind of surprised, but we'll see it before the day's over, but they like to use Terry Malone likes to put Chris Perry out there on the edge and dump that ball off to him, a little short pass stuff, because he's pretty handy with it. He's also a very good pass blocker, and it looked to me like Braylon Edwards might have gotten into the vision of Brian Thompson there, and he didn't make the catch, and the ball almost hit him right in the chin.
Yeah, real confusion there for Brian Thompson as a fullback coming out there, asking Navarre, "Were you throwing this one to me?" Here's Edwards, #1. Here's Thompson, 35, and it looks like ball was thrown right between the two of them.
Well, John gave him a chance to make a play. Either one.
Michigan 2 of 7 on third down. They failed to convert on their last 5 tries.
And this third down is 10. Ball is completed to Braylon Edwards, and he's out to about the 15. That's close to your first down as that little surge forward to maybe the, if he got it to the 17 with a spot, he's got his first down. And he's got it.
That effort is why this young man will play on Sundays in the real near future. Watch where he catches the ball. He's about 5 to 6 yards short of that first down marker. He splits 2 big linebackers on the tackle here to Tupu and Sarts and stretches out. That's a great effort.
Edwards is 6'3", 210, and a great leaper as well. He can get up for the ball. First down from the 17 for Michigan now. Navarre getting some heat and goes down. Back inside the 10-yard line. The first man to get him was Udeze.
And that all plays into how Pete Carroll calls his defenses. Seen 3 sacks early in the first quarter, all by defensive backs. Gives the offense a lot of different looks. Now he will turn loose just the front 4. And the best pass rusher on that front 4 is number 94. He gets inside of Adam Stenovich there for another sack for SC.
Pete Carroll, incidentally, if you don't know it, is the defensive coordinator for USC. Says it keeps him interested. As if he didn't have enough. This is Chris Perry. Oh my goodness, a half a step from being gone.
No play though.
Back it comes. Against Michigan.
Lloyd Carr had the right play called there from Terry Malone. Look at the room in the middle here with just Tatupu as the middle linebacker. Nice block by Matt Lentz, but you can forget about it because of the penalty against the Wolverine offense.
But the ball comes back to the 5-yard line. We're at 2nd down and 22.
So you get a sack and then a penalty, and you're backed up inside your 5 again.
Chris is behind Navarre. And has the ball. That's just trying to wedge out a little daylight for the punter. And Finley will be coming along shortly. The way things are going. The NFL playoffs kick off with a wild card Saturday on ABC. First, the Titans will battle the Ravens. And then in prime time, the Cowboys will face off against the Panthers. The NFL wild card on Saturday. Coverage beginning at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Following the Sixers-Spurs game Saturday on ABC Sports. Allen Iverson's having a season of injuries so far, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. Tough guy. We've got an official timeout here.
We had a
timeout. USC.
So the Trojans are charged with the timeout. We had an equipment situation, and Dallas Sart's chin strap was broken, but they'll take the timeout now and talk about circumstances because they've got Michigan backed up. They've got them on 3rd down and 18. If they can hold them one more time, then they force the punt. I got a hunch that Tyrone Wheatley needs to talk to his young'uns here. They're not paying attention. But then on the other hand, that's a fairly comfortable way to go to the game.
He was out partying too late last night on New Year's Eve.
3rd down, the ball is on the 9-yard line. 3rd down and 18 for Michigan. Big play here. Trojans trying to pin them. Navarre's pass is away and it's incomplete. Thrown behind. Brock's intercepted.
Bounced off his foot.
Went off his foot and it's picked off by Tatupu, and Tatupu is inside the 5-yard line. It hit Braylon on the foot. Braylon Edwards, the intended receiver, and the ricochet went right to Tatupu, and lo and behold, the Trojans are knocking on the door.
This pressure is forcing Navarre to throw the ball too soon. Braylon Edwards is never even looking for this ball. Right in the seam there, ball kind of tailed away from Edwards off his heel and up into the air and heads up by Lofa Tatupu. Look at the gift. Wow. Well, that's an unbelievable play off the left heel of Braylon Edwards into the hands of Lofa Tatupu.
That's why we play the game. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Run it. Oh, what a play. Keir Woods decks Lindell White back on the 6-yard line. He almost sawed him in half.
Couple of big plays because of Pierre Woods' speed and quickness. Number 99 right here. Totally unblocked, delivering the big hit on White. And that's what Michigan needs. How does White hang on to that ball, though?
I don't know. Well, he's economy-sized himself. But boy, that was a lick. 2nd down and goal. Leinart throws right through the hands of Hancock out of the backfield. Incomplete. Hancock is a fullback, but once in a while gets out into that outside position on the edge. Larry Stevens was the threat on the play for Leinart.
And Larry Stevens is going to get picked up by Lendell White. Watch this block by White. Number 21 takes down the very strong and quick defensive end for the Wolverines.
Ball is at the 6. It is 3rd down and goal. Southern California trying to cash in a fortuitous turnover. You reckon they're going to go right with it? No, going to go left with it. And touchdown, White. There's testimony to the strength of Lendell White. Jeremy LeSueur, the senior corner, had him. Couldn't hold it.
3 big plays in a row for Lendell White, hanging on to the ball, making a key block, and then breaking the tackle here of Jeremy LeSueur, as you said, Keith, and diving in for the score. Big play for SC. It looked like Michigan may have had some momentum there.
Killian for the point. Malone's a holder. Snap's good. Kick's good. 14-0 Southern California. The turnover produced this touchdown off the heel of Braylon Edwards, taken back to Tupu, and then finally on 3rd down they squeeze it into the end zone with White getting the score, and that's why you have 14. Earlier we asked you the athletic trivia question, and we'll have the answer for you in a minute, so get your paper and pencil ready.
Hey, Grandma, how you doing?
First
everybody back home.
reception for a touchdown this season for Lendell White, a true freshman.
Here's the kick. Good one, going deep. Preston wanted to come with it, but LeSueur says, you stay back there. We'll take the ball out at the 20-yard line, and now here's your answer to the Aflac trivia question. Which was the last AP #1 ranked team to lose in the Rose Bowl game? And the answer is Ohio State. Lost to USC in 1980 here in this stadium.
And that's a trivia question that can make both the Michigan fans and the SC fans happy.
I'll tell you, that Michigan-Ohio State game we got a chance to do was special this year. Heck of a football game. Ooh.
2 great teams.
So from the 20, here come the Wolverines. Will Poole's lined up on this side of the field against Braylon Edwards and going to run with him. The ball's thrown to him, and it is incomplete. Poole was right up there with him, and the ball went high. But that's the kind of a catch that Edwards will make sometimes if you leave him alone.
Yeah, Poole had help over the top from Jason Leach. It's a post route. Look at the way Poole is playing. He knows he's got help from number 27 coming. Again, the ball comes in too high, but there is Leach. John Navarre started off.
Edwards right there. He had his hands on it.
Yes, he did. That's 2 that he's let go.
2nd down and 10 from the 20. Chris Perry tries to cut back against the flow, and he's tripped up by Dallas Sartz. Got him with a forearm. But I'll tell you what, if Perry gets past Sartz, it might have been fun to watch.
It's a real challenge for Chris Perry and this offensive line of Michigan. SC is just so quick, not only in their front 4, but in their linebacking core. Dallas Sartz, number 42, with a left hand reaching out. But look at the defensive backs. Bing, Leach, and Nunn. 7th time now SC has stopped Michigan for a loss.
3rd down and 12. Navarre gets it away. Pass complete to Avant. Avant's up across the 35. It has a 1st down. Just across the 35.
That's an outstanding job of being patient and courageous at the same time by John Navarre. He's been sacked 4 times here in the first half. With a deep drop there, gets away from Udeze and then keeps his eyes down the field, focused on number 8. Big conversion there for Michigan.
Time 3:47 to go in the first half. 14-0 Southern California. Braylon Edwards is in the backfield. Now he empties the backfield. You got 4 of them over here together. Set up the screen for Preston. Preston's got some blocking, and they run him out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. That's another first down for Michigan.
Got to get the ball into the hands of guys that can make plays for you on the perimeter against SC. We've seen Avant now, and now Preston with that quick hitch route. But don't fall asleep on Preston. Former high school quarterback, he was poised to throw that ball back to John Navarre as he did against Minnesota. In fact, that's the last time Michigan trailed by 14 in the first half, was against Minnesota.
Tab and Gonzalez are the wideouts now, as Edwards, one of those who comes out, and they'll run Chris Perry up the middle with it. He's got 9 yards before Sean Cody backs him down.
Finally, a little rhythm and a little momentum for the Wolverine offense. This offensive line has started all 12 games for Michigan this year. Having a tough time protecting the quarterback so far, but if they can get the running game going, that will help John Navarre.
Tyrese Butler checks into the ball game now. He is number 9 and will be on this side. Edwards back in. He goes up the far side. And they're running Perry. Chris steps through the tackle, goes down to the 35. Ball comes out.
Nope, they're saying it's down. Yep.
Just inside the 35-yard line. Tutupu knocked it loose, but he was down.
Boy, we're having some close calls. That's about 3 now in the first half where the officials have had to come in and say it was a fumble or not a fumble. Complete or not complete. Look at the moves. Tutupu rips it out. Well, I'm not so sure that's not a fumble. Watch Tutupu's right hand reach in for this ball and pull it out before Perry's down.
So it's first down just inside the 35 as Edwards goes in motion and Navarre drops. They're after him. Look at that. He stepped away from 2 Trojans and got a little bit out of nothing. He picks up about 2. Sean Cody, the tackle. Speaking of tackles, here's a big one. John Saunders.
Alongside of Craig James and Terry Bowden. As you look at this game, you got to be able to run the football to be successful, and Michigan's not doing that.
Well, they can't do it. That's their best specialty at USC, stopping the run. What they're bad at is people that throw the ball. You got to spread it out. That's not what Michigan wants to do.
Right, but watch Michigan's players out there. When they just kind of flinch, they're expecting to get hit. They're not playing aggressive, and USC is.
At halftime, we'll be joined by former Wolverine and Heisman Trophy winner Charles Woodson. Keith, back to you.
Oh, he's been cranky the last week. He might have something to say. Navarre back. Oh, boy. I mean, they stretched him. Back at the 40-yard line, Manuel Wright was the first one to get there. Then came big old Kenichi Udeze. And that was followed by Frosty Rucker. And I'm sure John felt like an oak tree.
Well, he's just dropping straight back almost every time when he goes back to pass. Going to have to start moving that pocket a little bit for him, because watch this pass rush is right up the middle. Big number 92, Manuel Wright, who is a true freshman, was playing high school ball last year with his first sack.
He must have taken a vote of the school board to get that happening, but he is a horse. Navarre's pass lost the grip on it.
2 plays in a row, though, Keith. That was deflected by Manuel Wright. Did we mention that he's 6'6", 285 pounds? Holy cow, 2 plays in a row for the youngster.
Can't be more than 18, 19 years old.
No. And he's working inside as a tackle against a pretty good player, and Tony Pape just throws his right hand at the ball.
And that brings on Adam Finley to punt with 50 seconds to go in the first half. Greg Carlson is waiting just inside the 10-yard line for USC. Finley's kick, good kick into the end zone. That'll come out to the 20, and the Trojans will have 42 seconds to play with.
And that is a lot of time when you look at the fact that they have 2 timeouts to work with.
Tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, L. Roberson leads Kansas State against Ohio State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. I think that'll be a pretty good football game. Sunday night, Heisman Trophy winner Jason White and the Oklahoma Sooners are down in Baton Rouge against LSU for the BCS National Championship. That's the game we're calling the Computer Championship. We're deciding the Human Championship right here. Reason for that smart aleck comment is that Southern California is atop the coaches poll and the writers poll.
And they're human.
Some people think. Glendale White picking around, trying to find a place to run and having a bit of difficulty with it. He gets out to the 26-yard line. Reggie Bush he's a little sore. Has a groin pull, and he hasn't shaken it completely. He also hasn't broken it loose, and they're going to go to the clubhouse. USC is going to be happy to watch the clock tick on away and go in and have a drink of water with a 14-0 lead at halftime in the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
Here's our Nokia player comparison. Let's take a look at both quarterbacks. Matt Leinart and John Navarre both have completed 11 passes. Of course, Leinart with the 2 touchdowns, but the pressure on John Navarre, the 5 sacks by SC in the first half is the story.
Pete Carroll now with Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Keith. Coach, I know you're worried about their offense, but you shut them out in the first half. That's got to give you a lot of momentum going into the second.
Well, we feel okay about this first half, but that doesn't mean a darn thing now. We got to go play 2 more quarters of real good football. I'm happy that we got it done, but we're just getting started, I hope.
I know you spent a lot of nights up scheming and going against these guys. Have they thrown anything at you so far that surprised you?
Sure, they've done a couple of real nice things, and we're not stopping these guys cold now. They're moving the football on us. We're just getting off the field at the right time. Hopefully we can keep that going.
Good luck in a second.
Thank you, Todd.
Keith, back up to you.
Thanks, Todd. Pete Carroll, Trojan coach, USC leading Michigan 14-0. Stay tuned now for the Pontiac Performance Halftime Show after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Pontiac High Performance Halftime Show. Well, more of halftime in a moment, but right now, time to listen to some music conducted by Arthur C. Bartner. You're listening to the Trojan Marching Band. A little bit later on, we'll hear from the Michigan Wolverines, but right now, time for the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Show. John Saunders, Terry Bowden, Craig James, and we are joined by a special guest, Oakland Raider Charles Woodson, who played in this game in 1997, won a piece of the national championship, won the Heisman Trophy that year. Do you have any eligibility left, though? Because they could use you right now.
I told somebody a minute ago I was going to put that 2 jersey on and make sure I keep my helmet on so nobody knows who it is.
Well, when you talk about really Michigan, it came out in the drop pass by Edwards early in the game. That really kind of put them at a loss.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, Michigan is a running team, always has been, and we haven't been able to go to our bread and butter and establish that running game. So right now we're getting away from the things that we usually do.
USC fans love you here.
They love me. You know, they're real lucky I'm not out here playing.
Terry, as a coach, what adjustments does Lloyd Carr have to do to get this ball moving down the field?
Well, first of all, you got to realize, too, that they are not a good team against the pass. This is the 110th rated defense at USC against the pass. You want to run the ball, but you got to spread it out some. I'm afraid you've got to pass first and go back to the run, not run first and go back to the pass.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, you know, right now they need to spread them out. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan come out in a little bit of a no-huddle maybe, Charles. Michigan's got to change it up offensively because right now they're on the receiving end of everything.
Yeah, we need, basically, you just need somebody to make a play. You know, Braylon Edwards, Navarre has to be a little more, keep his composure in the pocket and not get so antsy back there. And USC's defensive line is playing very well right now and it's making it tough for them.
Well, Charles, you know, the defensive line, though, if getting up 5 sacks, they've given up Michigan. They're not giving Nazar much time with 5 sacks. I know as a defensive back, you love it when that quarterback's getting sacked because the USC defensive backs don't have to cover.
Oh, you love it because at the same time, you don't have to cover as well, but you know that there's going to be some balls flying around out there. The quarterback's going to make some bad throws, going to give you a chance to make a play on the ball.
Well, when you talk about that defensive line right there, Terry, I thought that was just really clear in the game on a particular run or two when you could see that up front with their 7, they could control them. Watch the linebacker step up in the hole. There's not a bounce to the outside, Charles. There's nothing they can get inside. That front 7's controlling the game.
Definitely. They're not getting the running lanes that they're used to. And you know it has to be frustrating for a guy like Chris Perry.
5 sacks in the game, and also another defensive stat. This is a Michigan team that gave up 5 touchdown passes all year. They've given up 2 already.
That's exactly right. USC's skill is different than the other one. Their skill is so good, it's better than the defensive scheme. You're seeing some great talent at wide receiver, and I talked to Pete Carroll earlier. Mike Williams wasn't the leader of that wide receiver corps. It was Kerry Colbert, the senior. Seniors really want to play well, don't they, in these type of games?
Definitely. This is your last game, and you don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you want to come out and have a good showing today. And it's an audition for somebody next year.
They got to figure out a way to get Matt Leinart to move his feet. He's in a rhythm right now with Leinart throwing the ball as well as he is. He's a smart young man.
Yeah.
He doesn't make mistakes.
I think so. I think the Ohio State game, it kind of exposed our secondary a little bit. You see how Ohio State was able to throw the ball on us, and they're doing the same thing today.
And one more thing, Michigan has lost 2 games because of the kicking game, and today they have a field goal block that leads to a touchdown. Then they field a punt on the 5-yard line, which leads to the interception and the other touchdown. It's the kicking game again that loses.
Don't you love his intensity? He's so intense.
He needs to be on the sideline somewhere.
He has been on the sidelines. Colbert, as you mentioned, a key part of this game right now. If you take a look, break it down for us right now as Matt Leinart goes out and looks for him and just lofts the ball up in the air, and he goes and gets it with the fingertips.
Well, he's such a great leader and a great athlete, but they spread it out. Michigan is used to seeing play action and 2 receivers. They're putting 4 receivers and 5, getting one-on-one coverage. That looked like a touchdown right there, which would have started out at 14 points.
When you look at it, though, the coverage is on the outside. The middle of the field has been open, and they're going to have to change that.
Yeah, they're going to have to. If you can't man them up, then you're going to have to go to a little more zone. But at the same time, you got a great quarterback like Leinart, and he'll pick his own apart, so you got to pick and choose the battle.
Time for Charles to go put the jersey on, and we'll continue with more of the halftime report in a moment. As you've heard Keith Jackson say throughout the game, they are solving the human national championship in this one. And of course, the BCS championship will be decided in New Orleans. Baton Rouge, where LSU plays and calls their home, about 80 miles away. So you can expect a very difficult ticket in New Orleans.
I'd like 4 tickets to the Sugar Bowl, please.
Are you crazy? It's the hottest tickets in town.
Go, you, yeah!
Go, Tigers!
#1, baby!
Yeah! 4 tickets!
If
people who always have tickets cannot find tickets this year.
We bought tickets almost 2 years ago.
I've been all over eBay, all over everything.
And she couldn't get tickets on her birthday.
Yeah, we're going to get really close to the Superdome and listen to the cheers.
And now, unfortunately, some bad news. A former Kansas State student has filed a sexual assault charge against a present Kansas State football player. Named in the police report is Elle Roberson, as Kansas State gets ready to face Ohio State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Thank you to Charles Woodson for joining us, and we're going to get back to the second half in just a moment. Keith Jackson and Dan Fotes when we return.
Hello, my name's Kevin Laprelle, and I'm a firefighter at the Pasadena Fire Department. I'm here at the Rose Bowl game presented by City, along with 99 other Southern California firefighters. We are some of the many that fought the fires in California this past fall, and we want to say thanks to City, the Tournament of Roses, and ABC Sports for inviting us to the game today, because we're having a great time.
My heroes have always been firemen. Boy, those guys have more courage than any people I've ever seen in the world. Michigan band wrapping things up and coming off the field, as we have had over the last few days really tough weather forecasts, but so far we have been so lucky. This immediate area has missed having the rain come pay us a visit. Oh, goodness knows we probably need it, but it's almost a perfect day this afternoon. It's comfortable and it's dry, and I think everybody's having a good time, and I'm pretty sure that every seat was sold in this house and then some. ABC Sports coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by City returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
As you've heard Keith Jackson say throughout the game, they are solving the human national championship in this one. And of course, the BCS championship will be decided in New Orleans. Baton Rouge, where LSU plays and calls their home, about 80 miles away. So you can expect a very difficult ticket in New Orleans.
I'd like 4 tickets to the Sugar Bowl, please.
Are you crazy? It's the hottest secret in town. Oh, yeah! Go Tigers!
Number 1, baby!
Yeah! Come on, tickets!
And people who always have tickets cannot find tickets this year.
We bought tickets almost 2 years ago.
I've been all over eBay, all over everything.
And she couldn't get tickets on her birthday.
Yeah, we're going to get really close to the Superdome and listen to the cheers.
And now, unfortunately, some bad news. A former Kansas State student has filed a sexual assault charge against a present Kansas State football player. Named in the police report is Elle Roberson, as Kansas State gets ready to face Ohio State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Thank you to Charles Woodson for joining us, and we're going to get back to the second half in just a moment. Keith Jackson and Dan Fotes when we return.
Hello, my name's Kevin Laprelle, and I'm a firefighter at the Pasadena Fire Department. I'm here at the Rose Bowl game presented by City, along with 99 other Southern California firefighters. We are some of the many that fought the fires in California this past fall, and we want to say thanks to City, the Tournament of Roses, and ABC Sports for inviting us to the game today, because we're having a great time.
My heroes have always been firemen. Boy, those guys have more courage than any people I've ever seen in the world. Michigan band wrapping things up and coming off the field, as we have had over the last few days really tough weather forecasts, but so far we have been so lucky. This immediate area has missed having the rain come pay us a visit. Oh, goodness knows we probably need it, but it's almost a perfect day this afternoon. It's comfortable and it's dry, and I think everybody's having a good time, and I'm pretty sure that every seat was sold in this house and then some. ABC Sports coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by City returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is the Bowl Championship Series on ABC Sports, as coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by City continues.
We've got a 14-0 ball game here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, with Southern California leading Michigan. And a ball game that has been entertaining, but in some instances relatively futile as far as the offense has been.
Well, time for our Home Depot coaching adjustments. Offensively, Michigan's got to find a way to protect John Navarre. Sacked 5 times. They got to find a way to move that pocket. And on defense, pressure Matt Leinart. He started the game 6 for 6. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. He's only been sacked 1 time. SC offensively, they got to get the running game going. Only 2 yards rushing in that first half. And then on defense, just keep fighting on. They've got 5 sacks, 1 takeaway, and that takeaway set up the short touchdown reception by Lendell White.
Are you a little surprised the defense has been able to assert itself as well?
Well, both teams offensively are so explosive on offense. So the focus all week since the end of the season has been on ways to stop them. And SC's speed is really showing up on their defense, not only with the pass rush, but they've been able to hold down these great Michigan wide receivers.
Let's take a moment now to visit with Michigan coach Lloyd Carr as he talks with Todd Harris.
Coach, you knew they had speed coming into this.
Good to see you, Todd.
Good to see you as well. Happy New Year
to
you. You're 2 plays away from being tied. Is it the speed they're putting out there, and what adjustments can you make?
Well, we've done a poor job protecting, and hopefully we can get better protection for John Navarre this second half. I think that's the key. Our defense is playing well enough, but we've got to get 1 score right now. We got to get 1 score.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
For those of you who remember their last conversation, this was considerably more docile. Here are your stats.
Yeah, you can see SC just 2 yards rushing, made up for that with the passing game. But the key stat in that first half, as Coach Carr just talked about, you got to protect that quarterback. John Navarre was only sacked 15 times throughout the entire regular season, 1/3 of that in 1 half of play this afternoon.
Troy Nienberg is going to kick it off. Southern California will have the football first off. So Michigan has some urgency now that their defense step up here and contain the Trojans. And as Lloyd said, they need a touchdown early on here to establish themselves in a position of contending. Right now it's Southern California 14-0. And this kick is high. And it's taken at the goal line by Reggie Bush. Got a crack. Now he's got a wall of blue chasing him, and he's out of bounds, short of the 20-yard line.
Time for our city game summary. Let's take a look at that first half highlights. Matt Leinart's going to hook up with Kerry Colbert with his 25-yard touchdown pass over Marcus Curry. That followed a Sean Cody block field goal. And how about this play? Ball bounces off the heel of Braylon Edwards to Lopa Tatupu. And that set up that short 6-yard touchdown reception by Lendell White from Matt Leinart. 14-0 Trojans.
And the ball sits at the 17-yard line for USC. First down with Herschel Dennis, your tailback. And that's Kerry Colbert turning upfield from a wide-out spot. Ball goes to him. He's wide open. He makes the catch. And he's got a first down at the 35 in front of Marcus Curry. USC comes into this ball game ranked first in both the writers' poll and the coaches' poll. They were done in by the computers in this, whatever the judgment might be called, of the relative strength of schedule. Though in hindsight, as we have seen the Pac-10 teams play in bowl games, I think USC might have gained, but it was too late. It's Reggie Bush now as the single back, and he gets the ball. There's some of that speed, and he's got almost 10 yards on the carry. But remember, he's got a tender groin. He comes up limping, and we may have seen him for the last time. We'll see. But that looks more like an ankle than it does a groin pull.
Yeah, it sure did. At the end of that play on the tackle, he may have twisted that right ankle, but look at the explosion. Patient sees the cutback to the outside there. Hard to tell as Marcus Curry and Ernest Shazor bring him down.
Lendell White steps in at the tailback position now for USC. Second down and a short yard. Just starting the second half of play. Leinart's pass sideline. Mike Williams first down. Michigan 47-yard line.
And that's where Mike Williams and Matt Leinart are so dangerous. They can read the defense, see that Marcus Curry is playing about 5 or 6 yards off of Williams. So just throw him the little quick hitch route right here. throw it to the outside, make him spin away from the tackle down the sidelines. Easy conversion on 2nd and short.
With this offense, USC set a school scoring record this season, averaging a little better than 42 points a game. And they do move that ball around. Leinart again, looks to the left, goes that way. The ball is incomplete. It was Mike Williams, defended by Marcus Curry. They've been picking on Marcus. That time he won.
Yeah, that was zone coverage that time. Look at the success that Mike Williams, a sophomore, has already had in 2 seasons here at Southern California. 4th all time.
Kind of interesting that the 2nd unit is along the front of the defensive line, Dan. Bowman's out, Massey's out, Hoyer's out, Stevens out. Ball is thrown for Kerry Colbert. What a catch. A penalty flag goes down. He walks into the end zone, gets the touchdown call, and it looked like he made that catch one-handed.
Well, I think he's been watching the highlights of Jason Avant and Michael Williams, because he did catch this ball one-handed, Keith.
Let's see about the flag.
Is going to get called for the pass interference. Obviously, will be declined. Touchdown SC.
Decline. Touchdown.
So the touchdown that Michigan hungers for goes the other way, and they're going to be down by 21-0 if the point is made here. Look at that catch.
It just stuck in the cradle of his arm there, his elbow. He knew the penalty was against LeSueur too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Kick is good. So, how do you do? You better close the barn door, I'll tell you right now. If you get these guys get rolling, they go downhill pretty fast. It's 21-0, USC. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Arroyo Seco. Sun is out. Beautiful day. Southern California, 21-0 over Michigan. And Ryan Killeen getting ready to kick it off. The deep people for Michigan, Steve Breston and Jeremy LeSueur. Kick carries to the end zone by 2 yards. Coming out with Breston. He's over the 20, out to about the 23, where he's taken down.
Now here's a New Year's treat for all of us. 3 of the best catches you'll ever see. Jason Avant with a one-hander against Northwestern. And then a couple of weeks back, Mike Williams against the Beavers of Oregon State with an incredible left-handed stab. This is becoming a fad in college football because of these very sticky gloves that they have. Watch Kerry Colbert get in the act. He has 5 catches here today for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is where you're supposed to say, do not try this at home.
So here comes Michigan now, desperately needing to respond. Navarre turns, throws, complete to Edwards, and Braylon Edwards is down at the 30-yard line in the arms of Melvin Simmons. Yep. Jason Avant, he hasn't seen the ball much today. He's caught 1, hasn't he?
1 for 17 yards. Edwards has 5 catches for only 37 yards. Breston 3 for 36. So you can see that SC's scheme on defense is not allowing anybody to get deep. Remember, Edwards dropped a sure touchdown on a deep ball in the first series of play.
2nd and 4. Ball caught by Steve Breston. He's got the first down at the 35, and then the Trojans roll him up and push him back. But the Michigan O-line, the key I thought was whether or not the O-line could protect for Navarre and maybe run some, give Perry a chance to run some, and I think the answer to that so far is no.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Perry, 49 yards rushing in that first half on 13 carries. Not a bad half statistically, but no impact plays for Perry or this Michigan offense.
This is Perry, that little move back to the left side. But again, the quickness of the Southern California secondary. Jason Leach, safety, making the tackle on Perry. He picked up about 8 on that play. Over the years, these two teams have played going back to 1948. That's a total of 6 times. Southern California's won 4 of the 6. The man who was really frustrated for a long time in trying to get his first Rose Bowl win is here today. Bo Schimbeck clear, and he ain't too happy right now either. Hi, Bo. Second down and 2. Navarre's pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Will Poole.
Another play by
coming
on the blitz again, Keith.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Every time Michigan runs a couple of successful plays, Will Poole comes on a blitz, and either he sacks the quarterback, or watch number 28 come up here with the right hand, and just like a basketball player, swatting that ball away.
Will is a senior out of St. Albans, New York, and I would say over the last 8 or 9 games of this season, he has he's caught the attention of a lot of folks who hire folks to play on Sunday.
He might be their defensive MVP this season.
Yep, could be. Navarre goes to Perry again, and Chris looking for a little crack for the first down, and will have it as he followed the offensive line surge. And 11:36 to go in the third quarter. 21-0 SC. Tomorrow night, 8 Eastern. L. Roberson leads Kansas City against Ohio State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And then Sunday night, you've got Oklahoma and LSU in New Orleans for the BCS National Championship. The Nokia Sugar Bowl, Sunday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, here on ABC.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with L. Roberson.
Here they come with the reverse. Breaston wide open, coming around the corner, but there's a sure, solid tackle by Will Poole. And they stop him short of a first down.
John Navarre was going to be the lead blocker on this play, and he got a late Christmas gift here because the guy he was supposed to block, Frosty Rucker right there, fell down, number 90. But look at this sure tackle by Will Poole. He's been a difference maker here on the SC defensive side of the ball, showing all his skills.
Second down and 2. Had 2 men in motion.
A little single wing type of play that time, Keith. That's 2 trick plays in a row for Michigan and Terry Malone. He told me that they had practiced 7 different trick plays. First one worked a lot better than that one.
Jason Avant was the man, goes up under center here, and then they snap it to Perry.
Yeah, Perry actually slipped. The ball was slipped to between his legs by Avant.
Yeah.
The offensive line standing up, trying to shield the view of the Trojans so they could not see exactly what Michigan had in mind.
Well, just remind you that Breaston is a high school quarterback of some note. So you very well could see him go in under the center.
Well, the Buckeyes will never forget his option play for the touchdown.
Here comes Tyler Recker into the ball game. Things will get better for the Wolves.
Terry Malone upstairs trying to figure out how to get some points on the board for the M.
First down for the Wolverines. The ball on the 41-yard line. Navarre throws to Edwards. 30, first down. Sarts and Leach, the tackle.
Well, Lloyd Carr said they have to find a way of protecting John Navarre, and they're doing that right now. He's got the time on this drive to really survey the field. He looked at 3 different receivers that time before getting that completion.
On first down, throwing again, but runs out of time. As Udeze, you're not going to keep Kenichi treed too long. He can hold him off for a while, but he is a force, and he went in and got John Navarre.
That's his second sack this afternoon. But again, it's pretty easy to tell where Navarre is going to be. He's going to drop back, going to be in the pocket about 6-7 yards deep. And the power of Udeze too much for that O-line.
Of course, Patterson and Cody, they knocked down the wall pretty well themselves. Second down, 14. Ball thrown hard and out in front of Jason Avant. Makes the catch all right, but it's a short gain down to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, Avant did a great job of getting off inside on that slant route. And if the ball had been closer to his body and not having to force him to dive, he might go a long way because he's got inside position on Marcel Allman. Spectacular diving catch.
You know, we're talking about Will Poole, and he's had a terrific ball game. He might not have played as much or gotten the chance that he's had, except for an injury to Kevin Arbette.
That's right.
So he's certainly taken advantage of the opportunity given him. Run it with Perry. And Chris Perry is down to the 23. Got to go to the 20 for the first down. So they're looking at a long 3 on the next play.
Long time to figure out what they want to do here on this 4th down.
They're going to go for it.
Yep. They're not going to have a whole lot of time to make any audible calls at the line of scrimmage, though.
7 seconds. 5. 2. Yep. Had to call timeout. John looked up and he saw the clock ticking away and spent a timeout at 7:43 to go in the 3rd quarter. Michigan in trouble.
The Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Tostitos. Nothing brings friends together like Tostitos chips and salsa. Meet you at the Tostitos. The all-new BMW X3 sports activity vehicle. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Charles Schwab, seeing the market from a different perspective. Yours. And the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
I know that it's perhaps redundant to suggest this is the key play in the ball game, but it is. 4th and 3.
Keep your eye on Steve Breston right here.
He's throwing. He's running. He's got a first down. So the big guy, 6'6", 228-pound John Navarre from Cudahy, Wisconsin, took his big frame downfield and picked up the first down.
He's made a lot of great plays in his career, and this one will be right up there with him. At the end of it, you almost wish that he might have handed the ball to number 23, Chris Perry, who's leading him down the field. How about that block by Perry on Tutupu?
That's why Lloyd Carr likes him so much. He is a good blocker. He's willing to. Here goes Chris Perry into the middle. Grabbed a hold by Dallas Sarch. Rolls over him, and he's down at about the 12-yard line. Here's what his coach says about Chris Perry.
What I love most about him is the passion that he has for this game and for winning and for doing anything that he's asked to do to help his team win. When you coach a guy like that, it doesn't get much better.
He particularly likes him as a pass block. So he stays in there so much. Navarre throws. Oh boy, it's in the crowd. Braylon Edwards is there, and Will Poole knocked it down. Boy, I've been calling Will Poole's name all day.
For good reason. Number 1, Braylon Edwards looking for a flag. Here's Poole, 28. Here comes Edwards into the picture. And Poole gets away with a bump before the ball got there.
Well, it is football.
6 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and 3 passes defense for Will Poole.
We're building a case here. 3rd down, long 4. Navarre throws, and he threw right, and Edwards went left, and the penalty flag comes onto the field, and that may very well go against Will Poole. or somebody.
I'm not
Maybe
sure
Bing.
this ball was even catchable, though,
Maybe
Keith.
it's Bing. I don't know.
This ball just sailed way off the field of play.
Poole was coming in. Here's Steve Juszczyk. He'll tell us.
Pass interference on a defense. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Poole was not the man because he was moving. He was coming in.
Yeah.
But it could have been Bing. I don't know. Let's see.
Here's Bing and here's Sarge. Take your pick. Sarge pushes Perry and Bing pushes Edwards.
Yeah.
And the ball was uncatchable anyway. Here's
clearly.
Marcel Allman, and from the other side, Will Poole came.
This makes it 1st and goal for Michigan. Chris Perry. Whoa. There was Udeze. And there was Sean Cody and Mike Patterson.
And looking for the cutback was the other corner, Marcel Allman. So Pete Carroll getting both Allman and Will Poole involved on almost every play.
Time is now obviously becoming an ally of USC. Once you get into the 4th quarter, I mean, certainly it is. But here you are, 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, and this is the 16th play of this possession by Michigan. 16 plays.
They must finish it with a touchdown.
There it is. Massaquoi, Tim Massaquoi making the catch, a big tight end who's 6'4", and he reached up over the top and brought it down.
And the key play on that possession was John Navarre on 4th and 3, scrambling for the first down. And then he finds Tim Massaquoi with just a 2nd touchdown reception of the year as he comes from the left side of the screen. Protection is good, and so's the catch.
And the Wolverines are on the scoreboard. Rivas for the point. Matt Gutierrez holds it. Pretty good stuff. 21-7 at 5:49 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Southern California leading by 14. But as every Michigander in the world says, remember Minnesota.
This is the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
So here's the freshman Rivas to attempt a 33-yard field goal. Right down the middle. And Michigan leads for the first time tonight.
Michigan beat Minnesota after trailing 28-7 in the 3rd quarter at the Dome in Minneapolis. So that's my comment having to do with Michiganders remembering Minnesota. They came storming back under the leadership of Navarre to win that ball game. Quite a remarkable comeback. Well, they're down 21-7 here in the 3rd quarter against Southern California. But this may be a little different critter. It's Bush 2 yards deep in the end zone. Reggie changes direction. He looks for the crack and came very close to finding it. But he's taken down at about the 28-yard line by Nienberg, the kicker. Here's Todd.
Well, Keith, last time we saw Reggie Bush quite a while ago, he came off the field. They were concerned about his knee. It's being called a sprained right knee. And, of course, Reggie is not going to miss any more of this game. Back to you.
Well, he hopes. He's young, too. It's funny what happens. 18 years old, you're pretty limber. Shake him off a lot easier.
Not quite sure if he's supposed to be in the game or not, though.
Yeah.
Lining up as a wide receiver here.
On 1st down, double wide, bottom of the picture. Put him on the edge and let him have it. This is Herschel Dennis trying to go to the outside. And that's a very good defensive play by Jeremy LeSueur.
So much for time of possession. And number of plays you've run. SC has scored on their first possession of the game in 4 plays. Their last possession of the game in 5 plays.
2nd down. About 11. Leinert going deep. Williams is there. Complete at the Michigan 46-yard line. Leon Hall just simply couldn't handle him at 5'11".
Not many can, regardless of what their size is, Keith. As a defensive back, look at the power. Just bowls Hall over and then makes the easy catch over the top. Good effort by Hall to try to get back into the play, but can't let the guy knock you off at the line of scrimmage.
That's a 27-yard gain. Mike has 5 catches for 62 yards now, and Kerry Colbert's touchdown catch was his 206th of his career, and he is the career reception leader at Southern California. Reggie Bush is back in there. That ball thrown to the outside to Colbert. And Kerry racing for the marker will get there and get another first down for Southern California. So they're striking furiously here after the Michigan touchdown.
Let's take a look at Kerry Colbert's afternoon. This is a 25-yard touchdown reception. Just spectacular highlight class type of catches for Kerry Colbert today, especially the last one when he went from 47 yards out. Michigan's pass defense, best in the NCAA defending the pass for touchdowns, 3 today for SC.
Lindale White and Brandon Hancock are in the backfield. It's Leinert back to throw. He's going to take a lick there as he got the ball away. And it is thrown away effectively as Patrick Massey had him in his sights.
That was such a big part of Jim Herman's game plan defensively for the Wolverines, is to put Matt Leinert down, knock him down as often as possible, because he hasn't been hit very much all year. We've just seen him get sacked one time in that first half, and that's the first time he's hit the turf here in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you what, if a quarterback's britches ain't dirty, he's probably won the game, huh?
Absolutely.
Reggie Bush, he is blocking on the play as the ball is thrown to Mike Williams. Short gain.
Norm Chow's offense is a timing offense, and watch the 3-step drop against the blitz right up the middle. Both safeties, linebackers are coming, but they just can't get there because it's just a 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3. The ball comes out. Williams makes the catch, and it's 3rd and short.
And put the ball where your guys can make a play. That's Matt Gutierrez right there, who figures to be the quarterback next year. He's going to have some challenges, but he seems to be the man at quarterback next year for the Wolverines. This is Bush. Out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, Southern California.
And the key block on the play, Keith, was from Kerry Colbert. The senior wide receiver is having a great day catching the ball, but he held on to his block. 83 on the outside there, took down Jeremy Lesueur. That gets Bush to the corner, and once he gets the corner, he's going to take it all the way to the 10.
So 21-7, and USC is trying to put that 28-7 yoke on Michigan. Same kind of a thing they faced at Minnesota.
Now this defense has just got no clue right now as to where SC will hit them next.
White, the tailback. Leinert's throwing it, gets it away. Ball goes to Hancock. He fumbled the ball. And he dives for it. And he, I think, knocked it out of bounds, and that'll retain possession. Marcus Curry was defending for Michigan.
That was a zone defense, so Curry could see Hancock come out of the backfield. And when the ball got there, so did Curry with this big hit. Number 40 is Hancock. Watch as he turns around. That's a perfect form tackle with the head in front of the ball carrier, and a great effort by Hancock to knock this ball out of bounds. Michigan picks this one up. They score with it.
Second down. Ball back up. Here's Williams throwing it. Mike Williams throws to Leinert. Touchdown. He's been begging that play all season long, and he finally gets it in the Rose Bowl.
And that wasn't just any old pass. That was a perfect strike from number 1 to number 111. Mike Williams to Matt Leinert. Where will they get hit next? Really took his time. 1 step, let it go. Leinert wide open for the easy score.
Killian's Point. Good. Well, it's 28-7. Southern California leads Michigan. We've got 3 minutes and 44 seconds to play in the third quarter. Another look at it. Ball is pitched back. Given to Mike Williams. One step and lays it right off softly on the hands of his quarterback.
Just perfect rhythm for this offense. Norm Chow calling the plays using the multiple talents of players like Mike Williams.
Norm is behind that blue glass there on the left-hand side of your picture. And the return is out past the 30-yard line by Jeremy LeSueur, right on the 30-yard line. And there where Michigan will have the ball for this next possession. Southern California's had the ball twice in the third quarter and scored both times. Now let's see if the Wolverines can answer.
And Michigan has had the ball on offense almost twice as long as SC has.
Yep, but this is their best starting position. So that might tell you something right there. The 30. We've got an offside call going here against Southern California. They've declined it. They'll take the ball out of the 30.
John Navarre has been sacked 6 times this afternoon, 5 in the first half. Will Poole on the corner blitz comes down twice to get the big quarterback. And then Kenichi Odezi will get in there. And then SC can turn loose a freshman, Manuel Wright. Did a better job of protecting him the last time out. They must keep him standing this time.
Down the sidelines. Beyond the reach of Braylon Edwards by about a yard. John Robinson went into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame today, along with Danny O'Neill of Oregon, who still holds a whole bunch of the passing records here in the game against Penn State. And Harriman Cronk, who was the other member of the Tournament of Roses committee for so many years. What a nice man he is, huh?
John Robinson was my offensive coordinator at the University of Oregon back about 4 or 5 years ago. And John
yeah, right.
is a former Duck himself. Played in the 1958 Rose Bowl here against Ohio State.
Casanova stuff. And Jerry Fry was your head coach, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
That pass thrown to Steve Breston.
As that clock continues to tick down, you would like to see Michigan perhaps start going to the line of scrimmage. Save some time. Really taking a lot of time getting plays called into the huddle.
Well, you start out with 25, and now you got 10. You're less than 10 seconds by the time you get your people in position to run your play. 2, 1, just barely. Ball thrown to Breston. Steve Breston coming back inside with the screen and gets a first down for the Wolverines, and he's brought down by Will Poole. Get the feeling there's nobody else out there.
Now Breston and Will Poole, that's right, Will Poole on defense. Watch him go for the strip here as Breston runs to the inside. The right hand really tried to pop it loose. Breston showing good strength and smarts to go down when that big contact comes.
So the Wolverines have a first down up on their 49-yard line. 2:25 to go in the quarter. Chris Perry's out on this side as a wideout. They go the other way inside with it to Braylon Edwards, and he will get to the 30, inside the 35 for another first down for Michigan. So the Wolverines are moving the ball.
Yeah, and imitation is the highest form of flattery. This looks like SC's offense now with a quick drop, empty backfield, getting the ball to these athletes, Breston and Edwards now. But one thing Michigan's gone away from is their screen pass game. Remember, Dallas Sartz almost intercepted a screen pass in the first quarter. Chris Perry only has 1 reception.
Got some fresh legs in now. Carl Tabb and Tyrese Butler in at wideout. This is Chris Perry down to the 25. That's another first down. Darnell Bing made the tackle on him.
Well, SC has given up a lot of yards on defense, especially in the passing game, primarily in the passing game. Opponents have averaged 276 yards passing against SC's defense, and right now with this big lead.
They're bringing a change in here because they want to make sure, I guess. It's close. And it's not a first down.
John Navarre has thrown 30 passes today. He's been bounced around by this Pete Carroll SC defense. So he's been hit 16 times. He's dirtied his britches 13 times, Keith.
Pete Carroll is the most animated when his team is on defense because, as we told you early on, he is the defensive coordinator. And he really gets into it when they're playing defense. Brother Jim said the other day he's always been like that. He never sat still for more than 10 minutes at a time.
Pants in his pants.
Second down and just short. 6 inches at the most. Might as well go big. Go! It's for Chris Perry down the sidelines, and Chris drew a crowd. He had 3 Trojans running with him by the time he got to the goal line. Sartz, Leach, and Poole. And it's third down and inches. Friday at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN, the Clemson Tigers and the Tennessee Volunteers are in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. That coverage begins with College Game Day Bowl Special at 3:30 Eastern. Down in Georgia. Navarre surges, gets in behind the center, Pearson, Lentz, and Boz, and has the first down for Michigan at about the 29-yard line.
Oh, and they're just taking their time. They're just taking too much time now. They've got offensive momentum. They've got rhythm to this offense. But their enemy is that 126 up there that will start rolling once the chains are set.
Coming, steps away from it, throws to the end zone, and that is incomplete. Jason Avant was the man for whom the pass was intended. Steve Breston coming over in case there was a ricochet, but in the meantime, it was Dallas Sartz that was tormenting Navarre.
Sartz is right here, coming on the blitz. It's a good job by Navarre to step up. And now watch Jason Avant try his one-handed catch with the left hand here over Marcel Allman. Great coverage by Allman. Beautiful.
SC secondary has played quite well today. They really have. 2nd and 10.
Go!
Oh, that one got away from him. He tried to put some sizzle on it and bring it down to Braylon Edwards. Edwards was at the 5 and was in position to get a hot one, but that ball sailed on him a little bit.
Yeah, and again, he's trying to force it into double coverage. The short coverage is by Poole. The over-the-top coverage is by Jason Leach, and Poole reads this route and almost comes up with the interception. Had a big collision there with Leach. Got up a little bit slow, but he's hanging in there.
It is 3rd down and 10 from the 24-yard line for Michigan. That's the tight end Tyler Ecker moving around. He's open to the right, but Navarre sacked. And it's Ronald Nunn, a DB, that came and got him. Ronald Nunn in at corner. Made the tackle. That's the 7th sack of Navarre.
This is what Navarre does not see. You can see Will Poole looking like he's lame just a little bit, as he did not cover Braylon Edwards very closely. And there is Ronald Nunn there diving at the feet of John Navarre for the sack.
Timeout, Michigan. 26 seconds remaining to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Wolverines have a problem. Ball is back at the 30-yard line. They're trailing 28-7. And while we've got the timeout, in case you're curious, here is the reaction of Pete Carroll to the circumstances of his team and the BCS.
It was just a matter of just a little bit of confusion and had to figure it out, and a bit of a letdown because we didn't realize what the good side of it was. And after just going through it, the good side was there, and there was a lot of upside for us playing in the Rose Bowl and still playing for the national championship. Once we went through that and got that squared away, I think it just was a day at the most, you know, when we're back on track and going.
It's a lively, interesting place over at Heritage Hall these days. This kind of success for the football team, but it's the people who have it, the quarters, I think, that have a great deal to do with that. I mean, success is one thing, but the people factor goes along with it.
Creating new traditions for a very football-rich school. And you know what? Oklahoma and LSU are lucky. Not because they're playing for the BCS title game, it's because they don't have to play USC.
That's exactly right. 4th down and 16 for Michigan. Out of the shotgun. Shakes off. Throw. No. Off the hands of Steve Preston. Jason Leach tipped it away.
As a fresh body, Omar Nazel will come with the pass rush on John Navarre. And again, Navarre stepping up into the pocket. Here's Nazel from the weak side as he goes around Stenovich. Great strength by Navarre. Now watch the play by Leach with one hand. Just far enough to keep it away from Preston's one hand. Oh, we've had some bounces today, and they have all gone USC's way.
The attendance, incidentally, is 93,849. Rose Bowl no longer seats 100,000. Here comes Southern California now. Matt Leinart throws. Mike Williams catches, and the gain is about 9 yards.
So much for sitting on the lead and trying to run the clock down, huh, Keith?
Yep.
They'll run it down to the end of the third quarter, though.
Well, that old warrior sitting up there behind the glass calling the plays. Doing that, Norm Chow. ABC Sports coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
.24-hour News 8 is on WOTV 41.
This is the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
There's your postcard for the day. The San Gabriels. Overlooking the basin. Sun's about to go on down into the Pacific. Right now, it's a 28-7 ball game. Southern California leading Michigan, and we start the 4th and final quarter. Mike Williams to this sideline, run the ball with Lindell White, and White's across the 40 for about a 3-yard pickup. Now let's join Todd Harris on the field.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. Just inducted into the Rose Bowl Game Hall of Fame, Coach John Robinson, who spent so many years at USC. Coach, play devil's advocate for a moment. If you're Lloyd Carr, what can you do against this USC team?
Well, I don't know that there's much you can do. USC has so much quickness and so much speed. When you get down here on the field and you see them here, you really recognize the overall team speed and some great offensive ideas and great offensive players. SC's very good. And Michigan's a very good team too, but you know, SC hasn't given them any chance. No turnovers, nothing. You know, just a great game by SC.
You've had some great teams as well at your time at USC. How does this team compare?
Oh, I think this is as good as any team. You know, it's more finesseful than maybe any SC team ever. Maybe not as powerful as some in the interior line, but this team has great finesse.
You've done some great jobs at coaching, but coaching Dan Faust at Oregon, that must have been the toughest one of all.
Well, I almost got out of coaching. It was so hard after that. But Dan, you know, Dan led the nation in passing. Dan was a great quarterback at Oregon. And, you know, mediocre as a pro.
Thank you, Coach. Keith?
Well said, well said. Leinart all day. Williams comes back to get it. And almost has his pocket picked by Marcus Curry, who stayed with him to battle him, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, this ball kind of got out of spiral on Matt Leinart. And thankfully for Marcus Curry, it did, because Williams is heading down the sidelines way in front of Curry. But you can see he had to drop, stop, and come back for it. But again, the ball bounces away from Michigan, something it's done all day long.
Trojans airing it out. 2nd down and 10. Big lead. They want more. That ball's thrown. Williams couldn't get to it. He got tangled up and couldn't get loose. Orange Bowl with Florida State and Miami coming up right after this one. Florida State, the ACC champions, and that's how they got in. And the Big East champion is Miami. That's how they got in to the Bowl Championship Series. And they'll be having at it. Not only that, they're going to have to play each other to start the season next year. They're going to get tired of looking at each other.
3 times in 11 months. Familiarity does breed contempt.
You don't need a whole lot of it to stir that up between those two. 3rd down and 10. Leinart throws a homer to Steve Smith, and he misses. And so the Trojans will kick it away.
It's hard to argue with the success that Trojans have had throwing the ball, but they didn't take any time off the clock, less than a minute on that possession. Picked up 1 first down and then 3 straight incompletions with the clock stopped, and Michigan about to get the ball back.
You know things have gone well when you look down and see that Tom Malone's only punted twice today, 48 yards and 50 yards.
Right, on his average.
Could make you cranky to average better than 49 yards per kick and then not get the championship because, oh, this is line drive, that might be returnable. No, takes a sideways hop and goes out of bounds. So it's out at about the 15-yard line, but he didn't have enough punts. He was 5 short of qualifying to be the punting champion this past season. Aerial coverage of tonight's game provided by Tostitos. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl will be tomorrow night. Kansas State and Ohio State. All right, Michigan ball at the 15-yard line. And you've got 14 minutes and 2 seconds to play. 3 wideouts, top of the picture. Navarre goes to the shortest one. That would be Tyler Ecker, the tight end. And the pickup is about 5 yards. Now they're going without the huddle.
Yeah, it's about time. Because this game is all about time right now for Michigan.
Chris Perry joins the shotgun formation, slips out of there, goes to the sidelines to Braylon Edwards, and Edwards is thrown out of bounds with a fair degree of authority by Will Poole.
Yeah, he got the first down, so the clock stops, but I believe they're going to wind the clock again because he was knocked back and his forward progress was stopped before he went out of bounds. So the clock will run once more. Although it's not now, it should be.
It is a first down up at the 29-yard line.
The signal for the clock to wind was given, but it's still not running.
Nope. 13:33. Navarre's pass thrown sharply to Jason Avant, and Avant moves it to the 48-yard line.
That might be the first time we've seen John Navarre in the shotgun formation.
Second time. He's if he has time to look around, he's pretty good.
Well, he can see. He's 6'6". He has the height to have that vision.
Trojans coming. Ball's away to Edwards. Nice effort. Ball falls free. A little behind him. Boy, they were coming up the middle of the highway, weren't they?
Yeah, and it was another safety blitz or defensive back blitz, number 23. Ronald Nunn got a sack on the last possession for Michigan. Braylon Edwards with the effort can't bring it in. Not one of Braylon Edwards' best days. Remember how poorly it started when he dropped that long bomb.
Little drop off to Chris Perry. Never had a chance. They were on his legs before he could even look for a place to run.
He came into the game with 42 receptions, and that's the most in Michigan history for a running back. He's got 2 catches today, but the big play to him has been the screen pass all year long, and SC has been all over it this afternoon.
Ball is thrown, caught. Tyler Ecker, the tight end, gets it, gets a first down inside the 40 to the 39. Will Poole was coming and just missed John Navarre.
Well, Will Poole was looking to make his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Coming from the right side of the screen, number 28 gets inside of Chris Perry. Good move by Navarre, and always looking downfield for his tight end.
Edwards, sideline, good. 15-yard line out of bounds, stop the clock, first down.
Well, you can't say that John Navarre hasn't been there or done that. All you have to do is remember that Michigan game. Found himself in a similar, rather the Minnesota game. Michigan, Minnesota. Trailed 28-7. But as you said, this is a different critter.
Yeah.
A little bit quicker critter.
Yes, I'd say. Teeth are sharper.
I don't know. Gophers are pretty sharp.
Yes, take down an orange tree in no time. I know. I learned that. Handoff is inside, and it goes to Pierre Rembert, getting his first playing time of the day. So they put in some fresh legs, and sometimes that's a good idea. Pierre is from Milwaukee, a sophomore. I think he ought to change his name. Everybody else does. He ought to call himself Pierre Rembert.
Give him time. He's just a redshirt freshman. I'm sure if he's in the Heisman hunt someday, it will be Rembert.
Into the end zone, and penalty flag. Braylon Edwards was hammered just as he crossed the goal line. He ran into Leach and Poole, and one of them put some muscle on him.
Again, though, was this ball catchable?
Yeah, good question.
I think the officials are going to talk it over because this one really sailed high. I don't think Edwards could have made a catch.
They impeded his progress.
Pass interference on the defense in the end zone. The ball be placed on a 2-yard line.
But it doesn't matter what I think, does it?
No.
His shirt has no stripes on it, Keith. There's the bump right there by Poole and Leach. We'll see just how close Edwards might have come to this. Well, you never know.
No.
He is a high jumper. Great leaping ability. And, of course, we've seen a lot of great one-handed catches today and this season.
Chris Perry goes back in there as your single back now. From the 2, 1st and goal. On a throw. And he threw into coverage.
Well, that's the best play of the afternoon for Will Poole.
Yep.
That was the fade stop where you fake like you're going back to the deep corner here. Watch Poole keep his eyes on the quarterback. Played that perfectly. Does not interfere. Gets his left hand between the hands of Braylon Edwards.
So it is 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Tupu and Udeze there. That penetration has been key for SC all season long. Watch how both Simmons and Tupu fill that hole before Perry can get rolling.
I mean, the Trojans just literally own that real estate now along the line of scrimmage.
No question.
They really do. Perry running for the corner, cuts it back, touchdown.
At That's a great play call by Terry Malone, offensive coordinator. Quit beating your head against that wall. Get Perry to the edge. Let him either go for the cone or cut back. Behind Kevin Dudley, 32. He's going to take out Simmons, and Tutupu just cannot stop Perry. Very determined runner.
Rivas for the point. Good. At 11:06. The heartbeat may be a little faint, but it's still there. It's 28-14. Southern California leading. Now then, each time Michigan has scored, the Trojans have stormed back. Let's see what happens here.
The Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Citi Identity Theft Solutions. Free help getting your life back. That's using your card wisely. Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV. Allstate, are you in good hands? And Nokia, connecting people.
Well, we started out with 93,849, and most of them are still here in the Rose Bowl. Nienberg will kick it away for Michigan. Marcel Almond and Reggie Bush is the deep man. And that's way back. And he will stay there. He'll come out to the 20 and be happy with it after a good kick by Nienberg.
Time for our Chrysler passing playbook. The only touchdown catch of the year will be for Lendell White. Will come here in the first half. Here he is at tailback. Watch as he sneaks out into the flat. Leinert's going to hit him, juggles the ball just slightly, and then breaks the tackle of Jeremy LeSueur for the touchdown. 2 catches for Lendell White, but 6 different receivers for Matt Leinart, including himself. He caught 1 touchdown pass from Mike Williams.
I'm glad it's the last game of the season, though. Mike Williams he wear you out after getting to throw that touchdown pass. Ball is handed away to White, and I'm sure the Trojans will be happy to pound away and squeak out a first down here and there and run that clock. It now shows 10:55 to go.
Yeah, they did not run the clock last possession.
Nope.
And Michigan came right back in less than 3 minutes to get that 14th point.
That's an astounding stat right there, though. But again, stats don't always tell you the story. You'd think that with having the ball 33 minutes at this point, they'd have more than 14 points. Bush is in now at deep back. Gets it. A couple of guys blocking for him, and he turns it upfield for a first down. The guy that threw the big block was Winston Justice. Now, I mean to tell you, that's a big hip pocket to follow. 305 pounds, sophomore, 6'6", and still growing.
Now let's take a look at the youngster, number 74. Look at the mobility for the big man. He just kicks the defender out, and Bush right behind him cuts up and picks up a really important first down for SC.
You know, the fellow he took out of that play is not exactly a willow switch. It was 6'5", 232-pound Pierre Woods.
What kind of switch?
Willow.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Supple. First down from the 32. Here's Bush again. That's about 6. Tackle Massey. Southern California has had control of this ball game all day long. Scored first. Led all the way. Lead by 14 right now. There goes the sun. And here's one of the big plays in the ball game.
Mike Williams on the reverse pass to Matt Leinart for the walk-in touchdown for the lefty. Lefty to lefty.
Leinart hands it away to his halfback, Reggie Bush, and Ernest Shazor ate him alive.
Boy, that play did not look good at all. It looked like Mike Williams was coming back in anticipation of getting the handoff from Bush. Watch Williams come from this side here. Either that or he was thinking that he was supposed to block on that play, but that's a huge play for Michigan because it really sets up a difficult 3rd down and 12 for the SC Trojans.
You get Colbert on the far side. Now he steps back into the backfield. Now you get him in motion. And over the middle it goes, complete to Greg Gunther, the tight end. First time he's seen the ball all day. And he makes a big, big play.
Matt Leinart is a cool customer, boy. He found the right guy to throw the ball to under a lot of pressure. Watch it. Michigan, Shazer, 25, coming right up the middle. Can't get to the quarterback. This is the first time Leinart has even thrown the ball anywhere near a tight end.
He's going to be joining the basketball team, playing for Henry Bibby as soon as the football season's over. As soon as his knee quits being sore.
Yep.
And they need him. He needs some bulk on the backboard. Leinart throws it again, throws this one low, and Curry almost intercepted it. It was intended for Colbert, but it was Curry had the better chance to make the catch.
Yeah, Leinart just doesn't look very good rolling to the right and having to throw with that left hand. Comes out of here. This ball is going to be down and away. Van Alstyne will tattoo the quarterback. And Leinart's real lucky Curry doesn't pick this one off. But SC continues to throw the ball, and with these incompletions continues to give Michigan hope.
Inside 8 minutes to play in the ball game. This is Bush. He'll get about 5.
And I think we're seeing the future for SC and their running attack. Number 5, Reggie Bush, the true freshman from San Diego, leading rusher in the game for SC. I would suspect he'd be the main man along with Lendale White as a 1-2 punch next season.
Well, Dennis is back.
Yeah, that's
was
true.
Only a sophomore. They each bring something unique, something different. Williams and Colbert are on the same side, lined up in tandem. Now Carey goes in motion the other way. Ball thrown to Mike Williams, 35. That's first down. Ball comes loose. SA down.
Yeah, they are.
Got on that pretty quickly. Curry tried to strip it. Didn't come out, but
look at Williams with the power to push off on Curry, get away with it. Now let's see if this ball does come loose. Nope. Right knee of Williams was down before Curry can get his left hand in there and pry it out. Another close call goes against Michigan.
ball is on the 35-yard line after that completion. And first down with Lendale White, the deep back. And Leinart looking for more. Comes to the sidelines with it. Steve Smith. They give him the catch.
Yes, they did. The true freshman with his first catch of the afternoon. He takes a shot at wearing out Marcus Curry, and he pushes off. He gets away with it, and he makes a spectacular diving grab.
Steve Smith made a big catch and run for a touchdown against Washington State back during the season when the Cougars came down here. It was a big play in that ball game. Broke their back.
In fact, he has the Trojans' longest play of the year, a 73-yard reception against the Beavers of Oregon State. And he's a true freshman.
Second down and short. Out of foot. Looper, too long. Colbert couldn't get to it. No chance. Covered by LeSueur, and I think Jeremy might have slowed him a tad on the chuck coming off the snap.
Yeah, good pressure by LeSueur in this bump and run here. That big long right arm of LeSueur keeping Colbert from getting after this one.
And he's got long arms.
Yes, he does. And they serve a defensive back well. His 50th game for the Wolverines. Jeremy LeSueur.
3rd down and a foot for a first down. There goes Lindell White down to the 20-yard line, brought down by Ernest Shazor. And time 5:42. And it's sort of becoming academic here because the Trojans have control.
When we look at Matt Leinert's pass chart, Keith, you're going to see for a lefty, this is really unusual. From the middle of the field this way, he has been just on fire. Had a pretty good day all over the field with 333 yards or so passing.
No picks.
No picks and 3 touchdowns and 1 touchdown reception. That's a pretty good day.
Not bad. Underneath, David Kirkman, 12-yard line, just short of the first down. He's a sophomore out of Mercer Island, Washington. There's a lot of folks coming back next year out on that field wearing white right now.
That's 8 different receivers now for the Trojans.
Clock running at 4:40. This is Reggie Bush searching around, waiting for a crack to open up, and it didn't. But he's still inside the 10, and that'll get him a first down. And here's Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, I don't want to stir the controversy pot any more than it already has, but never in the history of the AP has a team ranked #1 in the Associated Press poll and not lost their game, gone on to victory, have been dropped down. So in this position, Pete Carroll's got to be feeling pretty good about himself right now, and a split national championship.
I'll bet you my big toe that they don't slide in the AP poll.
They may turn some heads of some coaches.
Coaches got a contract to make it to handhold to unanimity with the BCS.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
They agreed to it. Little delay, little handoff to Herschel Dennis, and Herschel gets down to the 5-yard line. That's 14 plays now, 70-odd yards in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. That's called controlling the clock.
And All-American offensive tackle Jacob Rogers, Keith, as you can see, getting up slow. Went down, grabbed his knee.
Oh, let's hope not.
Got knee braces on both his knees, as do most of these SC offensive linemen.
Time is out for the injured player. In the 4th quarter, with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the game, 28-14, Southern California owns the ball, and they're trying to punch it in from the Michigan 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 5. And now Matt Leinart coming out from the sidelines, bringing the play with him and taking his sweet time. Nate Steinbacher is in now at the tackle position, replacing Jacob Rogers. Didn't look terribly severe when Jacob left, but you never know. Leinart dropped it.
Michigan's got it.
Whistled it dead at the line of scrimmage. Larry Stevens came out with it, wanted to run with it, and so that's the first real mistake, I think, that Matt Leinart has made all day.
Made a long time.
And I don't know that it was his fault.
Well, the snap appeared to be good.
Somebody stepped on his foot.
Yeah, he dropped the ball, and then all heck broke loose. Or something like that. Good call by the officials. Reed is down in possession. Whistle blows. That's where Michigan will take over.
So the Wolverines get it at the 10-yard line with 3:42 to play and down by 14. know, this is where they invented Walter Mitty. But the Wolverines need a couple of them. That ball's thrown very quickly to Braylon Edwards, and it's incomplete.
Now, what John Navarre is going to be facing is a very loose pass defense by USC. 2 deep, 5 men underneath, and they will allow anything from 20 yards or shorter.
Wolverines have 1 timeout remaining. Trojans have all of theirs, but they don't figure to need them.
You can see the 5 men underneath lining up about 8 yards deep from the line of scrimmage.
Avant pulls it in at the 28-yard line, and that's a first down. The ball was thrown very hard, and Avant had to go down and get it, and he did it.
What you're going to see, though, the safeties. Watch how deep they play here. Avant will come down to the inside here. Have a nice gain, but the clock starts again once the chains are reset.
3:25. Sidelines. Braylon Edwards turns his head. The ball's right there. He makes the catch, steps out of bounds, gets a first down, stop the clock.
You got to love this type of effort. John Navarre now 45 attempts. He's been beat up all day long, but he is a tough guy, both mentally and physically.
ABC's Wild Card Saturday starts off with a great showdown in the NBA. 2-time league MVP Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs host the Philadelphia 76ers, then followed by the NFL Wild Card doubleheader. That's at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, here on ABC. Ball's thrown into the crowd. The executive producer of ABC Sports, Mike Pearl, senior producer of ABC Sports, Bob Toms, our coordinating producer, Bob Goodrich, and our departing producer, he's running away, is Mark Loomis, who's going off to golf, which is his, I think, first love. He damn sure can play, I'll tell you that. But we'll miss you, Loomy.
Yes, we will.
Wish you the best.
Great job.
It's been real fun to be with.
Here.
And you also got some talent. There's no better closer. 2nd down and 10. Not much there on that one. Our director, Patrick McManus, that noble volunteer fireman from Bedford, New York. Associate producer, Derek Mobley. Associate director, Jeff Kibler. Production assistants, Kurt Thomas, Joe Zucco. Spotter, of course, Kelly Hayes. And statistician, Mark Minto. Stage manager, Kendall Watanabe. Bug operator, Fred Amos. More in a minute. Navarre gets a little heat, gets a lot of heat. Ball comes out. Kenichi Udeze was causing a lot of trouble in that.
And he comes totally unblocked on his pass rush. How do you not block number 94? Watch him get in here on Navarre and then strip the ball. They're going to ask Chris Perry to block Kenichi Udeze. I know Chris Perry is a great pass blocker, but he's not good enough to stop number 94. Pass rush. How do you not block number 94? Watch him get in here on Navarre and then strip the ball. They're going to ask Chris Perry to block Kenichi Udeze. I know Chris Perry is a great pass blocker, but he's not good enough to stop number 94.
A whole lot of people have tried and failed this season.
John Saunders back at the Rose Bowl. We're right now USC 2.5 minutes away from claiming half of the national championship. And coming up, the Orange Bowl between Miami and Florida State. We'll be here for that. And at halftime, following the story of L. Roberson taken off the field today and charged with sexual assault, at least a complaint. We'll have all of that. Keith, up to you.
Thank you, John. Back to the shotgun for Michigan on 4th down and 22. This might be the bell ringer right here. They sack Navarre, Sarts, and Tutupu, and that pretty much seals it. That is the 9th sack of the Michigan quarterback.
And with 4th down and a mile, a lot of defensive coaches would play a very soft zone. SC comes with a full-out blitz and gets Navarre one more time.
There are a couple of fellas that have had a good time today. Norm Chow, the offensive coordinator on the left, and Pete Carroll, the head coach and defensive coordinator on the right of Southern California. They've got this thing pretty well nailed down at 28-14 and 2:26 to play. They get the football at the Michigan 20-yard line. And it was simply a day when speed won. And a quarterback that made one small mistake. That's all. And the fellas in the trenches dominated the line of scrimmage for Southern California. That's Herschel Dennis carrying the ball. And he'll take it down to about the 15-yard line. Dan Barr, our computer stats today. Technical directors John Zippe. Production manager Joe Alvarado. Our technical manager Al Fong.
Hey, Keith, the players give the impression, and it's the right impression, that it's fun to play football at SC on both sides of the ball. Aggressive attacking defense and offense that just airs it out, uses all the talents of these youngsters. Just a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, as we've sort of jokingly said here, we are determined to have the human version of the National Collegiate Football Championship decided in the Rose Bowl, because Southern California came into this ball game ranked #1 in the writers poll and the coaches poll. The other one down in New Orleans on Sunday night, of course, will be the computer version, the BCS championship game. And that is the winner of that game is the one that's going to be listed in the history books as the national champion. That's the way the contract reads. Jacob Rogers is back in the ball game. That's good news for Southern California. Big 77. I'm Keith Jackson. I'm going to go play golf tomorrow. Dan Fouts is going to Oregon to shovel snow, and so is Todd Harris in Utah.
That's been a great year, Keith. Great way to finish it off.
Herschel Dennis carrying the ball now to run out the clock, and there's no point in any times out being called here by anybody. At 45 seconds to play in this ball game, it is academic. It is over for all intents and purposes. And the University of Southern California Trojans, who have been in this game 29 times now, are going to walk away with a win as they lead 28-14.
A lot of flash bulbs, a lot of people wanting to capture this moment. And you know what, Keith? There's not one computer in the crowd.
No, you're right. If it is, it's in the trash can. But this is Dennis coming around the corner, and they track him down. Wolverines playing with pride now. And this ball game is in the books. He went out of bounds, though, at 7 seconds to play, so there's one more play left, folks.
Now I think he got the first down, Keith, and they're going to wind this clock and let the party begin.
There you go. Now we get it. And that'll do it. So congratulations to Pete Carroll, his staff, and all of his Southern California Trojans. They win the Rose Bowl 28-14, and they will claim at least a share of the national championship no matter what happens in New Orleans. Of course, the Bayou Bengals of LSU and the mighty Sooners of Oklahoma, they've got their say as well. And that'll come along on Sunday night. Tonight, it's going to be fun down in the Orange Bowl as Florida State gets together with a very familiar group called the Miami Hurricanes.
Time for our Built Ford Tough Play of the game. The winning points was provided by Kerry Colbert on this 47-yard incredible one-handed catch on the first drive of the second half as he takes the ball in from Matt Leinart over Jeremy Lesueur. That made it 21-0 USC as they go on to win a split national title 28-14.
And now we go to Todd Harris.
All right, Keith, the classy guy, Coach Carr. Tough year for you. Handicap USC. Where did the game swing?
Well, I think it swung on our inability to protect the quarterback, and the play at the end of the second quarter where they got an interception and got up 14 put us in a precarious position. But I thought we fought back and we had a chance, and to get back into the game even late, but we couldn't do it. And SC deserves all the credit for that. They're a tremendous football team.
You won a national title in '97. They say the split national title. Handicap for Pete Carroll. How do you think he's feeling right now? Is it any less sweeter?
Well, I don't know about Pete, but he won the national championship. I'm sure of that. And, you know, there'll be a time when nobody will remember it was a split championship.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you next time.
You.
Back up to you, Keith.
All right, Todd, thanks very much. We'll be right back with the Built Ford Tough post-game report here from the Rose Bowl as the festivities continue. Do you feel like you've seen a championship game?
I have seen the best football team I've seen in a long time in that SC Trojans. Keith, the way we handicap this one is, could Michigan on defense stay with the speed of SC on offense? Clearly they couldn't do that, but the surprise was how creative was the pass rush and the defensive plan of Pete Carroll to put so much pressure on John Navarre.
It was interesting in talking to Pete about being the defensive coordinator and the head coach and how it impacts him. And he's got so much energy, I guess he probably told us the truth. It keeps him busy, but he loves it.
Well, he's as old as I am. He's 52 years old, and yet he acts like a kid, and I admire that in him, and I think his kids really relate to him, obviously.
Yeah. It's a very happy situation, it seems, right now. Let us go back down to the field now for the closing ceremony and Todd Harris.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keith Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me a great amount of honor to introduce the president of the Tournament of Roses, Mr. Michael K. Riffey, to make the presentation. President.
Thank you, Todd. I'm going to have some rain.
You can't handle it? I can.
I can handle it. Pete, on behalf of the Tournament of Roses and the Rose Bowl, congratulations on your victory today. 2004 champion of the Rose Bowl.
I'll tell you what, folks, it's a pretty heavy trophy, and right now Pete Carroll's not having any problem picking it up. He says he can hold the trophy all night long if you want. Coach, you got all your goals. Pac-10 title, you wanted the Rose Bowl title, national title?
Well, I would think that's going to follow. We're so proud. We're so proud to be able to get to this point. Playing the Rose Bowl, representing fantastic University of Southern California and all the people that love the Trojan football, and to the people sitting up there and all the way around that you're still here, I think we just won the national championship.
Pete, you came here, you've only been here for 3 years. I know everyone out there wants to know, how did you do it? How did you put together such a great team so fast? Norm Chow and the rest of the kids.
It's been such a collective effort. Starts right at the top with the president and Mike Garrett. They've done so much to help us clear the path so that we can move forward. We've had so much support of fans. Even though it didn't start out that way, they have been extraordinary ever since the beginning of this thing, and they've been with us 1,000%. The kids have been so pumped up about playing for this, what we've been trying to get done, and they've carried it out today. It's a great day for our football team and our football players, and it's a young football team too, and I promise you I'm excited about that as well.
Thank you very much. Coach Pete Carroll, ladies and gentlemen. Right now it's time to hand out some more hardware. The player of the game for the 2004 Rose Bowl game, the quarterback of USC, Mr. Matt Leinart. Matt, congratulations. Matt, I got to ask you, at USC, everyone's always used to student body right, student body left, but today you throw a touchdown pass and you catch a touchdown pass, and I know Mike Williams wanted to get in there and throw it.
Yeah, we've been working on that all, the month we've been preparing, and I knew I was going to catch it. I told him I would catch it, just called the play, and Mike threw a great ball.
National champions, congratulations.
Thank you, it feels good. Oh, thank
you. Keith, let's send it back up to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Job well done. 28-14, your final score. Southern California defeating Michigan. And now we'll turn the rest of the evening over here at the Rose Bowl to our good friend John Saunders.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Enjoyed the call of the game with Terry Bowden and Craig James. Now we know that the coaches are supposed to vote for the winner of the Nokia Sugar Bowl. I don't think Pete Carroll is going to put his team down as number 2 when he votes.
I don't know how he can. I really think Pete Carroll believes they're number one. They were my number one at the end of the season. I'd have to have them. If I was a voter, I'd have to pick them number one.
Well, USC's a national champion. There's no question about that. When you talk about USC, you're talking about a football team that went through the season. They've done it week in and week out. They've got a great system. Pete Carroll and his staff out-coached Michigan today, hands down. His players are better prepared. They've got better players on the field today. If you don't give USC the national championship and you're a coach out there voting, you're crazy.
If you want some numbers, how about this? Michigan gave up a total of 15 sacks during the entire season. They gave up 9 sacks today. People who talked about the Pac-10 and the soft schedule, think about it all over again. When we come back, we will get ready for the FedEx Orange Bowl as we continue at the BCS on ABC.
The kind of play that will be talked about for a half a century, if not longer, where the wide receiver throws to the quarterback, canters in untouched for a touchdown. It was a deal they cooked up and the coach bought it and it worked.
It kind of exemplifies the way they play football at SC. Creativity mixed with speed, great athletic ability, and coaches that aren't afraid to let these young men play.
Yeah. Well, Todd Harris got a hold of that big old wide receiver who left-handed that ball to the quarterback, Mike Williams, and here's a part of that conversation.
Well, Mike, we talked to you early this week. You said you had a few tricks up your sleeves, but throwing a touchdown pass in the Rose Bowl game?
Oh, man, that's it. That's all I needed, man. It's just a blessing to finally put this team and this program with the greats, man, the Marcus Allen teams and the teams of the past, and to have a trick play and a big-time play in this game. I didn't have a magnificent performance. I just came out and did what I did, and I'm glad we won.
Now, they came out, their opening drive looked pretty impressive. Was there any point in this game where you guys panicked and thought maybe we've overlooked the Wolverines?
Not at all. I mean, we've been in a situation before, all the older guys. I mean, last year Iowa took the opening kickoff for a touchdown, so we know defense wasn't going to break. They did some great things for us, kept the offense with a short field, and we won as a team, man. And for 2 years now we've been hearing the Pac-10's finesse and the Pac-10 soft and all that, but we beat 2 Big Ten teams in a row. Hopefully we'll get rid of that, but if not, we'll take whoever, whenever.
As a sophomore, your resume looks pretty good. Pac-10 champion, Rose Bowl game champion, and now national champion?
Well, this was kind of disputed, but next year we're trying not to leave any doubt.
All right, congratulations. Enjoy, Mike.
Thank you.
And except for a wobble in triple overtime against the California Golden Bears, there wouldn't be any controversy. But Pete Carroll and his Southern California Trojans will go to bed tonight thinking they are the national champions.
USC wins the Rose Bowl 28-14. Michigan allowed 4 TD passes. Entering the game, they had only allowed 5 all year. Here's their head coach, Lloyd Carr.
Congratulate Southern California. I thought they played a great football game. They did everything they had to do. I think Coach Carroll and that football team, I'm sure, will get a share of the national championship, and they're very deserving. They took us out of rhythm, and we just never got in sync, but I think our guys never stopped fighting. We're extremely disappointed, but sometimes things just don't go your way, and I give the credit for that to Southern Cal. We just could not handle the pressure up front. We gave up too many sacks, too much negative yards, and I think that was probably the difference in the game. Questions?
Questions, please. Questions, please. Raise your hand up.
Coach, when you look at all that USC has coming back next season, what do you think their prospects are next year?
Well, I really don't look at what they have coming back next year. I think they have a great football team. They lost a lot of guys a year ago, and were able to still have an outstanding season this year. And but I haven't given much thought to that.
The protection, maybe you try to do some different things with the pressure that they were able to get on you in the first half.
What's the question?
Protection-wise, did you try to do some different things in half?
Well, we did. We made some adjustments as the game went along, but more than anything else, and it was really my greatest fear going into this game, that is an extremely quick, athletic front four The games they use are well executed, the speed off the corner. And until I see the film, I'm not prepared to say exactly what happened, but we knew that they had a lot of blitzes. I thought our preparation went well. They did a couple of things that we hadn't seen, but I think more than anything else, you have to give those guys up front credit for the havoc that they caused us.
Coach, what happened on the play involving Braylon Edwards, and did you think that was a turning point in the game because he went down and scored right away? On the play that hit him in the foot or hit him in the heel, or?
Well, I still am not sure exactly what happened there, except that Braylon told me the ball hit him in the foot. I think there's no question that it's a different ball game. I'm not saying the results would have been different, but certainly to get a touchdown off a play like that, I think that's something you hate to have happen to you, but it did, and that's all part of the game.
Lloyd, their front four, was it more the moves they were making, or were they simply physically better than your front five? What do you lay it on? What were they doing?
I just told you, their quickness, their athleticism, they just did a great job getting off the ball, and they mixed some pressures in there, but you just have to, I give them credit for, until I see the film, and then we'll have to look at the whole thing and try to learn from it, but I think it all started with their speed and athleticism up front.
Who are you going to vote number one?
Well, I am committed as a member of the coaches poll to vote the winner of the Sugar Bowl as the national champion, and I will do that, but certainly if I was a member of the media, the Associated Press, I think Southern Cal is very deserving. You could make me an honorary member.
Let's go site to site. We go from Lloyd Carr to Pete Carroll. He gets a share of the national championship. Let's listen to that live from Pasadena.
It's very difficult to make this kind of run and to get it done. It goes along with this opportunity and the stress that's on everybody to make this thing happen. I couldn't be more proud to be part of the University of Southern California and our football program and all of the people who make this happen. It's very difficult to make this kind of run and to get it done. And our football team has hung together so well and done so many great things to get us in this position. We're just really proud to be here. Really, it's hard to explain and describe it what it feels like. And so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna tell you that it's wonderful to have this opportunity and then to achieve when you get the chance. And that's the thing I'm most proud of. And from all the people that contributed to that. So many guys did things today that were remarkable. You mentioned the quarterback. I mean, Matt Leonard has just had an incredible first season as a player for us. But so many guys, on the offensive side, Kerry Colbert was just a star today. The offensive line did great things for us to give us the chance. I was just real proud of the way it worked. We were efficient, we were clean. We had that one lousy fumble there that never should have happened. And other than that, it was a terrific football game for us on that side. On the other side, the defense was if you can imagine, this is an excellent football team in Michigan. They've got a great offense. They've shown it in every way all year long. They've been sacked 14 times or something all year, and we had 9 today. So that goes to the work of our guys up front, certainly, and also the people that came off the edge and did the things in the secondary, and the linebackers that contributed. But it really set the tone for the day by getting after their QB, and just made for a real classy Rose Bowl. And the 28-14 win over Michigan, the great football team, is something we're really, really proud of, and we'll remember it forever. The one would say one thing, I loved looking at those stands, and those people were still there, and I couldn't think of enough ways to give back to them. They were still out there, as we got to go to the locker room, but they're still out there hanging on to the fun and the great moment that they'd been part of, and so we share that with everyone, and just wish we could give back to. I don't know how to do it, but just thanks to all of them.
Dan, if you'll have the mic.
Pete, Coach Carr just said that he's going to go along with the contract and vote the winner of the Sugar Bowl #1. What about you? Who are you going to vote for #1?
I don't have a vote. I didn't sign up for that. But I think guys have to do what they think is right, and I respect that.
Dan?
Coach, just four years ago, you weren't coaching, and now you're a national champion. Can you explain this ascension and how it happened so quickly?
Yeah, well, that not coaching wasn't very long. You know, the not coaching part was really getting ready for the next coaching opportunity, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, how many years is makes it a quick rise. You know, and how long do you have to wait to get to here? I don't know. Like I've always said, I've always been frustrated by the first year. So the fact, though, that we positioned ourselves to have this chance to win this many games and win this kind of a Rose Bowl with this kind of magnitude, and the chance to be the #1 team in America at the end of all this is, you know. It's beyond words for me right now, but I know how I watched it happen, you know, and watched the stages come to life, and the players and the coaches put things together in the right perspective and get oriented to championship runs and championship play, and it's been really fun, man. I've had such a good time doing it, and feel like we're just getting going. You know, we're the start. Like I said last year, I feel like we're just getting started. Well, we're well underway now, but it's still an early part of this time here. We're here at USC, and we have a lot to get done in the future, and we have a lot of players and to get that done with.
Coach, right here. Coach, Mike Williams is a guy that gets a lot of notoriety, and today Kerry Colbert seemed to really be a difference maker out there for you. Can you talk about Kerry a little bit in his contribution?
I thought Mike played a terrific game today and the chances that he had, but Kerry just seemed to make a couple just unbelievably, you know, just those once-in-a-lifetime plays. You know, the time he's holding the guy off with one hand and catching the ball in the other and going in the end zone, that's just a catch for all times, too. I mean, just Mike had one earlier at Oregon State. That catch, as far as SC is concerned, should be one we should remember forever, because that was the one that separated us. That showed that we could come back and get started in the third quarter, and really, I think that was the one that separated the game.
Thank you.
And let me say about Kerry, he's been an extraordinary leader for us. He's done everything you could ever want a young man to do. He's been the epitome of a Trojan football player and kid on campus. He's an unbelievable one that's going to go on and have a great career after he leaves us, and we'll look forward to following him during all that time.
Pete, how were you able to corner blitz so well, and just to your left here?
Oh, there you go.
How were you able to corner blitz so well and still cover, and was that something that you saw in preparation that you could?
Well, we've really been on a roll with our pressures last month or so, and honestly, I was a little surprised we would have the success that we did have. But you know, we got our guys going again, and had a number of ways to do things today, and for the most part, it worked out beautifully. And there's nothing more fun than to watch that corner come, and everybody in the stadium can see him coming. And it's my favorite play to watch on defense, and like the one that Will Poole got, he came from a million miles away, you know, and you could see it coming, and the anticipation of the big play is it's worth working hard to make those things work right, and our guys did a great job with it today.
Coach, you said that you respect people doing the right thing, but is it the right thing for coaches to drop your team from #1 to somewhere else after this game?
No, I think he has to do what he thinks is right. Every individual guy, you know, the system is the system. Hey, look, I've never complained about the system, and I'm not complaining about it now. It is what it is. I didn't have anything to do with it, and I can't help it. So it just is. When some people figured this one out, and so we went with it. I have not felt any different about it at any time when I've been asked a question about it. Well before we were ever in this position, and at this point now, that's just the system that is, you know. And we have generated enough momentum that there's time to fix it as best we can, and I think that's clear. This is obviously didn't work out right this time around. So I'm really happy we're part of that. You know, it's change for the better, and we'll figure it out hopefully. And I mean, I hope somebody does. But I think it's quite clear. I mean, we did everything we needed to do. This is a great football team in a great matchup and a great challenge, and we finished it the way we needed to. And so. I think the fact that some coaches are willing to go against the system because they know it's not right and they don't feel right about it, then I think that's to be respected and highly regarded as well. And so we'll just, you know, whatever happens with that thing happens. It doesn't matter right now to me. What matters to me is that we accomplished everything that we could possibly accomplish from the time we had the opportunity, and our players got that done, and nobody will ever take that away from us, regardless of how these votes go or these, you know, polls and stuff like that. We had a fantastic season, and these guys should be rewarded accordingly, and I think that they probably will be. But you know, I don't know. It's just how I feel about it.
Over here to you.
You got the best front four to your left. Best front four.
I'm just looking for my wife.
Okay, I'm not her.
You're not looking that bad, though. I mean,
thanks. The best front four that had done so well putting pressure. I just want to make sure you didn't really say why you thought the corner blitz would work so well. What was it that you saw?
I wouldn't tell you. I'm not telling you now, and I won't tell you anytime. But what I will say is that the pressure that we generated and the attention and focus that was directed towards we better take care of the corner pressures allowed our guys to really heat it up inside. Kenichi Udeze had 3 sacks today. He's had an incredible year. There's nobody that's played better football than Kenichi has all year, and it showed up as the game wore on. He made his plays and made his presence known. Cody was all over him. We really could have easily had 12. You know, we missed the guy so many times. He's such a big stud. We couldn't get him down. But it's all season long. You know, I think we've seen the front people again for an entire year have an enormous impact on the best team in the country. I think that they need all of the attention and credit that would draw. And the cool part is there's a good chance those guys are all going to be back again together. So that's pretty good.
Coach, over here. Pete, you said whatever happens, happens. It's not important to you right now. I'm wondering if you're going to watch the Sugar Bowl on Sunday, and if you are, what are you going to do? Are you going to root for a tie?
Yeah, there's a good chance that I'll watch the game, and no, I mean, you know, I'm not going to even play with it. You know, those teams are going to go do the best they can to win their game, and then there's the system, you know, and whatever. I think it's quite clear that the Associated Press people will see it directly in line that they're right about what's going on, and they're going to feel good about that, and that's what will probably happen. And then, however the coaches go, they vote their conscience, and they do what they're supposed to do by what they feel is right. You know, the system. If they're a system guy, or if they're a guy that says I can rebel against the system and make my statement, they can do whatever they want. We can't control any of that. You know, that's not. I don't care what happens with that, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm quite clear in the history of the AP voting and all of that. I mean, that was one of the first things I asked when this all came about. What's the history of the voting of the AP? And somebody told me that I trust that the AP has always voted for the team that they had selected as the #1 team going into the bowl system. If they won, they'd voted for them again. And if that's not right, then you guys let me know. But so I imagine that we probably won't change history in that regard. I think they got a great team to show, and they can also show that they're right and the other guys aren't. So it's pretty cool.
Coach in front here. You mentioned earlier in front. You mentioned earlier that you would like to play the winner of that game at the beginning of next season. Would you like to play them next week now?
Sure, we play. These guys would love to come back and play again. They're not done. It's a crying shame that we have to end the season right now. These guys would love to keep going. You ask every one of them. They're having the time of their life, and they would love to play again. We don't get to, though. So, you know, it's just for conversation and all. But it sure looks like it would be a nice thing to do, you know, right now. Here's 2 and 3 playing and 1 and 4 played, and it just makes so much sense this year because it came out this way. But, you know, yeah, we threw that out there, and no takers.
Another question?
Pete, you played your college football at Pacific. Can you talk about how that
shaped you?
shaped
I'm so glad somebody finally brought that up. Gosh darn,
And you
nobody
also-
ever asked me that. Right, the Proud Tigers of the University of the Pacific, right.
Can you talk about how that shaped you as a coach, and talk about some of the other great coaches you coached under?
Well, that was a lot of people don't care about this, but that was an extraordinary opportunity because it was a limited numbered staff. There was some terrific coaches in there, Chester Caddis and Bobby Cope, and some great coaches. Walt Harris was there early on in developing that staff. That they allowed us to coach in our first year. I was a full-time coach my first year, coaching receivers, and then coached defensive backs and for a couple of years, and then, you know, I was a GA for 4 years, you know, but those first 3, I was coaching like a full-timer. I just didn't get paid like it. So we had a lot of guys that love football and really, really were great fundamental football players, and that was a great start. It really was. As a player, it was a great opportunity for me because that was the first time I'd ever grown up fully. You know, I got to play full grown finally. It took me so long to get full grown that I was very fortunate with playing in a defense with a bunch of really good players and good guys, and we played really well. And I got a lot of opportunities and had a good time playing there. And you know, we put together a great football team my senior year. We were 8-3. Nobody can ever remember, other than Eddie LeBaron's year, the team that never won that many games. Okay, that's enough about you, OP. They don't even play anymore. You know.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Can you talk about the play where Mike Williams threw the touchdown? And did that come out of your mind or Norman?
No, I'll tell you exactly how it happened because he deserves the credit. It was a situation where we got knocked out. It was second and I think 17, and Norm said, "Hey, let's go with the reverse pass." And I said, "That's an awesome call. Go for it." And it was just a perfect time because you kind of knocked out. I think it was second and goal from the 17 or whatever. It's really going to be hard to make it in any other way. So let's take a shot at it. We had worked that play in practice, and you look at the guys that handled the ball on that play. They're great athletes, and they made that thing work in practice time and time again. And it was exactly like we did it in practice. I mean, it's a great flip to Mike. It's a great throw by Mike. It's a great catch by Matt. You're talking about great players making something happen. That was, probably the play of the game, I would guess.
Coach over there.
Coach, how critical has the kicking game been for you this entire season, and in particular tonight?
Thanks. It was a really strong game for us today. I know we missed a field goal, but it was a very strong game. Ryan kicked the ball like crazy out of the end zone and backed him up. Their returns, and they have a great returner, was no factor. And that was something that we had gone into the game hoping that we could do. Tommy did a great job. I would just as soon kick the ball in the end zone on Breston. He was such a good player when he did. That was just fine with me. To back him off on the kickoffs and he couldn't bring it out, they were no factor. So they have a great player that you couldn't tell today, and that's just a tribute to the whole factoring of our kicking game. We've had a great year on teams. We really have. We made an enormous improvement, and it happened by. And I know why it happened because we divided up our staff, worked with Kennedy Pohl as the coordinator, but our coaches each took on a different element of different phase of the kicking game, and just did a marvelous job of fixing, changing, and being consistent throughout the season.
Coach over here.
Real quickly about the coaches poll. Why was it that you didn't decide to vote?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of an apathetic thought that I just don't like the whole thing, and it's like a beauty contest type of thing, and I didn't want to be part of it.
Any more questions?
You feel like you guys are the national champions, Pete?
Yeah, we really do. We really do feel like that. And we went in with that thought. And really, you know what? If somebody says that we're not, we're going to believe it. I promise you. We're going to play it just to the hill. We know what we've accomplished, and we feel very strongly about it, regardless of how anything turns out.
Coach over here.
Yep.
Coach, with draws and screens, they love Michigan. That's one of the things they thrive on. It seems like on second down, the team just was sniffing it out today.
Oh, we missed a golden chance. Dallas Sarge saw it so perfectly. He could have been in that end zone before they even got their head spun around, and he just couldn't get the handle on the football. That was a really good message for us to send to them that we could play their screens. So that was a very good element of their offense. We worked on it real hard, and different guys were going to be faced with the opportunity, but Dallas started us off beautifully, and then the next one we came flying up with Will Poole, and it might have been Dallas again on that one. Just a really, really well done job of coaching to get those guys revved up to do that, and it's not easy.
One last question for the coach.
Nate? Here we go.
Coach, there's been so many coaching changes in the NFL. Do you have any desire to coach again in the NFL?
No, my desire is to keep doing what we're doing right here and see how far we can take this. And it's really clear and all that. And I understand why you asked the question, but what we're doing, everything's going along just fine right now. We get the off season as the #1 team. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think Pete Carroll is ready to play on Sundays just yet and coach in that form after what happened in New England, but he loves it now as USC gets at least a share of the national championship. This was the 4th time USC entered a bowl game ranked #1. 3 previous times the Trojans went to the Rose Bowl. In each case, they came away with the victory and at least a piece of that national championship.